restricting social media use for youth under 16. Households will receive postcards offering options including bans, parental consent, or no limits. Lori Carr says the move responds to rising youth mental health concerns, while Premier Scott Moe says the feedback will guide upcoming federal discussions.
We're going to send it to every household. They'll have it in their mailbox. We would hope they'd take a few moments to just write down, their perspective and their family's perspective on the very short questions that are being asked, and we'll compile that data, and that will formulate the provincial position.
Residents can mail responses by June 30th, with results reviewed later this summer across the province this year. 2 Regina drivers are facing charges after police say they were caught driving at extreme speeds, including more than 200 kilometers an hour on Ring Road. Officers used air support to track both suspects in separate incidents over the weekend. One driver was stopped after speeding near a park filled with families, while the other fled police and drove dangerously through city streets and highways. Both were arrested, and police say the actions created serious risks for others on the road. That's 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sastoday.ca and 620ckrm.com.
Weather tonight, a few clouds and a low down to -6. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 10. Tomorrow night, clear, a low down to -2. Thursday, partly to mostly sunny and a high of 15. Looking at Friday, partly sunny. Maybe some isolated showers in the area, though, and a high of 19. Saturday, partly to mostly sunny and a high of 12. Currently in downtown Regina, partly cloudy sky. It is 6 degrees, but it does feel like 1.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Good Tuesday to you out there. Is it Good Tuesday? You didn't like that, Colson? Happy Tuesday?
Taco Tuesday.
What if people are like,
you got
don't tell me Happy Tuesday. I'll let you know when it's a Happy Tuesday. We're here, though. It's Tuesday for Saskatchewan Lotteries. That'd make you happy. Main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation in Sasky. Colson's with me today. Got a number of guests. 3 hours for you. Let's run down. We'll talk NHL. Wasn't here yesterday. Caught some of the show. Some interesting gambling chatter on there. I don't want to say they're posers, but are they, like, people, come on. What are we betting on here? There was some interesting, you're going to have to run it through, Colson, again. NHL tonight, though. 1 game, and coming off a 15-goal night the other night. No one saw that coming. We're going to talk about the over-under on that one tonight. Vegas-Anaheim last night. The Flyers... Did they need that? Did they need that win in Carolina? They deserved that win, didn't they? I thought so. Sean McEwan from our sister station, X in Calgary. He's also on the Wolf here in Regina. Is going to join us. We'll talk some hockey. He's a big Habs fan here in hour 1. The Leafs thing, we got to get into that. The hiring of... their new general manager, and if you didn't hear the press conference audio, we're going to play it for you. It was Steve Simmons. Kind of has Arash glasses. I'm going to ask Arash about that. It's like you and Steve Simmons have the same glasses, but John Chayka, and I've just been researching John Chayka for the last 24 hours now to be like, who is this guy and why are so many people against him doing being the general manager? So I've done some research. it doesn't affect me, but we'll talk about that as we go. Rider Rookie Camp opens up tomorrow, and we are all over it, as per usual. Dave Thomas is probably on the highway right now to Saskatoon. He's hunkering down in Saskatoon for like 3 weeks. And we're going to have training camp reports, twice a show for you. Luke Mullender joins us at some point. Everybody basically joins him but Colson and I. And so we're all over it. We're covering the Riders like no one else can cover it. Sprinkle of the day is coming up. Couple of local young hockey players. And if you listen to the show and what we do here, sportscage.com as well, we like to remember where we come from. We're local at the end of the day. Let's give people a lot of times things they won't be able to get somewhere else. Because I know when we talk NHL, and you can get that a lot of places and yada yada, but we'll still talk about it. But there are two Regina kids that are on this pretty wild ride when it comes to hockey. The Flin Bombers are going to the national championships in Summerside PEI. They left this morning from Regina. You don't have to be following the SJHL and hockey and all that much. They live in Flin. They flew out of Regina today to PEI. They had a puddle jump. I think they actually flew into Halifax and then have to drive too. This team has done nothing but travel over the last 3 months. They don't care. Regina's Ryan Ulmer is a member of the Flin Bombers. We're going to talk to young Ryan Ulmer in hour one. I actually caught up with them last night. It's just an interview about the team, about the playoffs, about getting ready for PEI and all that. Tomorrow we're going to have the head coach of the Flin Bombers, Mike Reagan, on, who after 19 years finally won his first SJHL championship. Hour two, Arash Madani. Arash has to have some inside info on this Toronto Maple Leafs debacle. Curious to get Arash's take on that, and if him and Steve Simmons shop at the same optometrist for glasses. PA Raiders, they're into the WHL championship. Did they have Huntsy on yesterday? They had Curtis Hunt on yesterday. Today we're going with one of the players from Regina, Jonah Sivertson. So Jonah Sivertson and Ryan Ulmer, they're friends. They chat a lot because they won the national championship with the Regina Pats Canadians last year. And now Ryan's going to the Nationals. Jonah's going to the Western Hockey League Championship, which starts Friday in Everett, Washington. So we'll talk to Jonah in hour two. PumpJacks Cathedral trivia today, folks. That's in hour three, right before Glen Suitor. Glen Suitor likes when we play the trivia right before he comes on because he gets to play along too. It's going to be based around NHL playoffs and think local. There's your tease. $50 to PumpJacks Cathedral. The patio's open. They have live music. They have cold beer. They have the best chicken fingers. I'm going in Western Canada. Great crispy ribs as well. So PumpJacks Cathedral trivia, chance to win $50 in hour three. Glen Suitor in hour three, and more. Like I said, it's for Sask Lotteries. All of our guests join us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. If you're not hungry now, you're going to be hungry in a bit. Western Pizza, all those toppings, the cheese, the crust, the best pizza, and then all the Greek favorites you love as well. Souvlaki, we got lasagna, my favorite. Get a burger. You can get chicken wings, whatever you want from your local Western Pizza. And then you participate, please. Looking at the regulars to text in today on some of these topics. 936-6262. That's brought to you by Prairieland Rentals. Husqvarna dealer, they got the robotic mowers on right now, up to $1,000 off. They got zero turns. They got the push mowers. Like I said, Husqvarna dealer, and then anything you need renting, they're your rental. Deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street. Habs fans, we have one coming up I was hoping that they started tonight, but it's tomorrow. Gotta wait one more day. I'm very intrigued by this Montreal Buffalo series. I think I'm kind of a Montreal fan. Now I'm turning into a Montreal. Nothing to do with it's Canada's team, the last team. You know me, I could give a rip on that. Not the most patriotic guy, sorry. Kill me. Just last 15 years haven't been good in my opinion. But I like this scrappy Montreal team. Although I like Buffalo too. And Buffalo deserves to go deep. We had Rhett Warner on last week. Just a passion in Buffalo. But we got to wait another night for that. Oiler fans, I know they were messaging in last week. I think the Oiler fans that I've talked to have calmed down a bit. They've calmed down, but still, when Sean comes on, I want to talk about what's in 12 months from now. That's what I want us to put ourselves in. Let's jump ahead 12 months and maybe 14 months. And how scared are Oiler fans? I would have anxiety. Not an Oiler fan. 936-6262. Already somebody chirping me. Bandwagon. Let's go. I'm okay with that. I'm not fully jumping on the Montreal bandwagon, although I did look at ticket prices to Game 3. They're what I would expect right now. One ticket, you're getting in for $600. But then you got to get to Montreal. You got to stay in Montreal. Unless you do the airport sleep come back thing, which I'm too old for that. We're going to talk NHL with Sean McEwan in a bit. And then, yes, Rider rookie training camp starts tomorrow in Saskatoon. If you're up in Saskatoon and you want to watch guys train, run around, I don't know if they're in shorts and pads or what they do. It starts tomorrow, though. 8:30 to 11:55 practice. And then Thursday, 8:30 to 11:55. So if you go to 11:56, you're SOL. 11:55 on Thursday as well. We're going to be covering it. Rookie camp, I think rookie camp in the CFL. We'll talk to Glen Suitor in hour 3. So football hardos, we're going to get into it there. I think CFL rookie camps, you're just like, who are the diamonds in the rough? And you're looking around, and it's like half the people, you have no idea who they are. But someone's making the team. Someone's going to contribute on the team. It's a wild ride in the CFL. And over the weekend, did I get people wanting to ask me and talk to me about the CFL changes coming in 2027? Some people are way more fired up about it than I thought. Way more fired up. Okay, I see the Prairie Land Rentals text line. I see an Oiler fan. I see a few Habs fans. I see just fans in general texting in. Have your say. 936-6262. Prairie Land Rentals text line. Oh, and then the NHL Draft Lottery is at 5 o'clock. We'll run down that. Let's go to break. We'll come back with Sean McEwan from The Wolf. We'll talk some hockey. We'll talk some puck. We'll read some of your text messages. It's a Sports Cage on this Tuesday for Saskatchewan Lotteries.
To celebrate CKRM's 100th anniversary, we're honoring the icons who helped shape this station into what it is today. Our next 620 CKRM icon inductee, Colin Lovequist. Here's a behind the mic moment with Colin Lovequist.
3 years, and I was always told, Don Scott always said from WABC, said, never stay longer than 6 months at a place until you want to plant your roots. But I love to fish. I was a fisherman from southern Saskatchewan, so going up north and be able to fish out your backyard, that was just right up my alley. So I stayed 3 years, and it was a different location, different times. You know, they were a little isolated up there, and if you weren't with the Flin Flon Bombers or with the Mandy Mine, they really didn't want anything to do with you. So we got into a few tussles first 4 months. You know, don't lean on my truck or we're going to go at it. And memories that I'll take with me for a lifetime, because that was the gate that opened and started it all.
To hear the full extended interview, visit our 100th year page at 620ckrm.com or sastoday.ca.
They've hired me to sell you Cooper tires. Presumably, I imagine it's because I sound important, which reflects rather well on the tires, doesn't it?
When your vehicle needs the right tires, see your local Cooper tire dealer. They carry Cooper Cobra Instinct tires. They bring your car to a shorter stop on wet roads and have decisive maneuvering and sporty performance. Have your vehicle ready for the road before you are.
Visit your local Cooper tire dealer today. Obviously.
Spring's finally here.
Spring in Regina? I'll believe it when I'm sitting on a patio.
Then let's get to PumpJacks. Patio's open.
Open now?
Yep, Sunday brunch, daily food, and drink specials.
Hold on, brunch and a patio?
And weekly live entertainment.
All right, that's not spring, that's a lifestyle.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, PumpJacks Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
Hey, Regina. Ready? The Monsters are coming. Monsters and Mayhem crashes into Kings Park Speedway July 17th, 18th, and 19th. Finally, Regina. An outdoor, no-holds-barred crushing showdown. Featuring high-flying, car-crushing monster trucks, wild mini monsters, and gravity-defying freestyle motocross. Tickets on sale this Friday, May 8th. Seating limited. Get yours fast at outlawsofmotorsports.ca. That's outlawsofmotorsports.ca.
Saskatchewan, it's time to talk sports. Sportscage is on the air. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. And we're always online at sportscage.com. 620 CKRM.
Welcome back for Saskatchewan Lotteries on this Tuesday. Colson's with me. Plethora of guests joining us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline right now. Talk some puck, some NHL playoffs. Sean McEwan, you hear him on the Wolf. If you watch any of his social media stuff, top notch, funny humor, good clean fun, as they would say. And he's also on X in Alberta. How have you been doing with how the Habs are, and this, is it an emotional roller coaster for you?
Oh, yeah. It's up and down and up and down and up and down. I mean, they won possibly one of the worst hockey games I've ever seen them play in my entire life, which was shocking to me. So yeah, it's been, there is that thing where it's like Tampa, it's just because it was Tampa, and Tampa is just, there's something about that team that just drives me nuts. So it was a real up and down experience.
It was, I think it was the first game, and going in there, I'm going to say in a couple of my drafts, I took Montreal Canadiens because I'm just like, I don't know if this is the Tampa Lightning that we are so scared of in years past. Hedman's not there. Yeah, they got like that Radish character, wherever they found him, he's real good. But then Point, the injury, and I'm like, it's not the same Braden Point. Kucherov, bad body language, looks pissed off all the time, and I'm like, I don't know. I think Montreal is right in this mixer here from game one, I thought.
Yeah, I think the thing that won them the series, and when you look back on a lot of the teams, even those Tampa teams that won, it's the third line on almost all of these cup-winning teams, all of these teams that go far that carry you. And for the Canadians, it was the Doc, Bolduc, and Texier line for about 2 or 3 games, whereas Tampa, they had that Dominic James kid that was ripping up and down the ice. But outside of that, they didn't really have much going further down in the lineup, and the Canadians was the opposite, right? Like their big guys were invisible for a lot of the games. And Tampa's, well, basically Brandon Hagel was the only one who showed up consistently. But yeah, they're just not the same, right? They're older.
When you were on the show the last time, and I don't know if when we had Sean from Montreal on as well, but Dobish, and I was like, who is this guy? So I started kind of watching him more, and I'm like, he's way bigger than I thought he was. And yeah, like you guys got something there in net for a while, which is why as we go into the Buffalo series, and yeah, Buffalo's tugging at people's heartstrings in the feels as well, but I'm like, why not Montreal?
Yeah, I think that series, if I'm very candidly with people that I talk to hockey about in my personal life, said I would rather than play Tampa in the first round than Buffalo, because the Buffalo games that they played, I think they split the season series 2 games apiece, but Buffalo is fast. They're way more physical than Tampa was. Tampa is greasy. Buffalo is physical. But I think it's going to come down to the goaltending and the decors, because Buffalo's decor can move the puck. They're mobile. They got some of just absolute mutants in the press box, right? They got Logan Stanley and Luke Shen that they can throw out there. And, you know, not to pump his tires, but Dobish has given me the Yaroslav Halak vibes from years ago. And when he kind of was there, and it was him and Price, and Jacob Fowler is supposed to be the next Carey Price, and Dobish was a late pick. He was taken out of college. He was just kind of a guy. And earlier on in the year, he was swimming in the crease when he would play. And he's got that attitude too, where he seems like he wants to try to fight guys after whistles and stuff. I don't know. He's just a likable goalie, but Alex Lyon's the same way. So I think you have 2 super emotional goalies. So maybe a goalie fight could be fun. Who knows?
Lineup wise against Buffalo, what changes do you think Montreal will do? Like, Jack-Eye, is he in every game?
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, he was played super well. I think I saw like the analytics around him and the Jaden Struble pairing, and they were one of the best defensive pairings for Montreal in the series. But Dobson's back in the lineup now, so he'll take away some of the minutes from Mike Matheson, because the problem with Mike Matheson is the longer he plays, the more insane things he starts to do with the puck, like firing it over the glass with 5 seconds to go in a 1-goal game.
We've all played rec hockey with that guy. It's like I knew it was going to bite us at some point.
Yeah, he's like when he's skating, once he gets over like 22 minutes, he just starts doing stuff where you're like, Mike, what was that? You had nothing but time. Outside of that, I don't think much. I don't think Kapanen, unless there's an injury probably gets back in. Veleno probably doesn't get in. I think that's pretty much what they're going with. I think they pulled their press box card with Brendan Gallagher in the last series and brought him in when they needed the juice, and they'll probably just carry that forward, I would guess.
Have you been to a game there? Is it a dumb question?
No, I saw them play Toronto when I was a kid back in the day, but I've never been to Montreal for a game now. They're so expensive.
I know, but that intro, man, and that's why I was saying when I was teeing up the show, and I'm like, I looked, and I'm like, get in price for Game 3 right now. You're looking at about 600-ish Canadian. I really want to watch it right before puck drop to see where it drops. But I guess if you're going to go all that way to a game, like you want to go in for warm-ups, you want to take it all that. Let's call it 700 Canadian you're in for. That intro, and to be able to record it and just feel it, obviously do not be buckled, because then you won't remember it, like a good concert. I think that's kind of worth the price of admission. I'm an experience freak. I'm like a bucket list. Like, I love doing stuff like that. It's like, well, how do you spend that? It's like, because you go to the Slappers and spend it. I'm like, that intro alone has got to be worth the price of admission for a playoff game.
Yeah, 100%. I would say I would be curious. I mean, the experience and the vibe for the game that went to overtime was probably fun. But paying all that money and they don't even score a goal the entire game you're there, that would probably be tough. You'd be like, well, at least I got to celebrate and get that moment of cheering. They didn't even score the entire game. That would be tough if you're looking at like a grand that you spent to go to the game. But yeah, I mean, you would want to run through a wall throughout the entire thing. You'd want to just start punching the glass. And there's something about a torch at a Canadians game. I don't know. And it just gets everybody fired up.
Yeah. I'm curious your comments on Edmonton. Like, I think next year, I say 14 months from now, are Edmonton fans not shaking in their boots? Because that's the summer that they're going to have to do something with McDavid. Like, they can't go into that next year. I don't think. Are they going to let him walk for nothing? Like, that would be the all-time. And I know there's been other teams that have done it with players, but this is Connor McDavid. So next year, like 14 months from now, next summer, Is he saying, I'm not signing here, guys? So then I started thinking, Sean, I was like, this morning, I'm like, are there any teams that we could, get our detective hats on and go, they're making room. They're starting a long game here to play, to maybe make a pitch on McDavid. The Dallases, Tampas, Floridas, all the no state tax places. Maybe that's me getting a little ahead of myself. But I think next year this time, Edmonton fans are going to be shaking in their boots.
If I was an Oilers fan, the one thing that Connor has done that would make me feel better is he has just outright come out and said that he wants to win in Edmonton. And that when he thinks about winning, he thinks about winning in Edmonton. So it would make me feel better. But yeah, I mean, if he goes to free agency, because it's that thing, right? If you're a team, let's say he gets traded, the package that you would have to put together to trade for Connor McDavid I don't know what that does to your team to begin with to bring him in. And then you have to be able to pay him whatever he's going to want, right? But I think if you're an Oilers fan, it's always that thing where it's like you look back on some of the decisions that management has made over the years, but they need something kind of similar where you see with these teams where there's that core that's been there for a while. And I'm not talking about like McDavid and Draisaitl. It's like Nuge and even Hyman at this point. And obviously Darnell Nurse always comes up. But something around maybe one of those guys. I look at Minnesota and the situation they have now with Wallstedt and Gustafsson. They signed Gustafsson to that big ticket last year. Would they be looking to move off of one of those guys if Wallstedt is the guy going forward? Because they're going to have to move money out to keep Hughes maybe. So maybe that's a Nuge and other pieces to Minnesota for a Gustafsson. You never know, right? But I don't know where Connor would go, right? Like I'm trying to think of where he would, because the other thing you have to think of with Edmonton, that division though is so bad. So it's like, where's he going to go in the league where his chances are better unless he's going to, maybe Anaheim, stays and goes to Anaheim. That'd be nuts, but I don't think that would happen. But
see, I think you mentioned the Anaheims, and if anyone's ever been around there or even seen pictures, I think Lauren is going to play into the next contract. She's going to be like, hey, I've been a good soldier here, hanging out in our hot tub in minus 45, and it looks really cool, but it's Edmonton. My friends are on a beach right now. Lenny doesn't deserve this. Lenny likes going for walks in the cold, but not when it's real cold. So I find that, and she seems to be a little bit of an entrepreneur and I think she's going to play in. And then again, the detective hat, I'm like, who are they really close with? Who are Connor's friends that aren't on the Oilers? That's the other thing. And is there any kind of tug there? But yeah, Los Angeles, Anaheim, all those sexy places, the Rangers, well,
if you're trying to think of connections, an underrated one would be Washington. So he can go back and play with Dylan Strome because they played together in junior in Erie for 3 or 4 years together. And I don't know if they're close or not, but maybe he wants to go back. Maybe he wants to go play with him and try to win with him. Because even Radish, you mentioned, he played on those Erie teams too, him and his brother. And DeBrincat was on those teams, but I don't know how close he is with those. I think DeBrincat was maybe after him, but those guys, I don't know.
How close Lauren is with the wives. Because that's the thing about the Russians you'd always hear, right? That's why they always liked New Jersey there for a lot of years. And then I think down in Florida as well, because they were tight and they were together. Travis texting in on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, totally get this. Lauren built a restaurant in Edmonton. That's what I'm saying. Lauren would probably love to build a restaurant in Venice Beach or Greenwich Village, or so. Just because she has a restaurant in Edmonton, that doesn't mean they can't be like, you know what, call McDougall Auctions. Let's auction off the deep fryer and the hood fan. Let's wrap this thing up because we're moving. I don't think that's keeping them in.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious. She knows who she married. I mean, Connor McDavid and those behind-the-scenes thing, that seems to be all he thinks about and all he talks about is hockey. So I think... But
he also looks like he's 48 in the post-game interviews lately.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he has gone through it the last couple of years. I mean, even my wife who doesn't watch hockey, she was like, they lost. She was like, so it's the Cup final twice and then the Olympics and now they're out already. And I'm like, don't even bring it up. I don't want to know what's going on with him. But they got 2 years. At least you know as a fan, right, that it's 2 years that they have to go for it. And after that, you just kind of see where the cookie crumbles. But he gave them the discount. He did everything he can do. If he leaves, you can't really complain. Like, he did everything he could. He's been the best player in the world there. And it's just they've been so poorly managed. It's insane how bad of a job they've done.
See, I don't even think it's 2 years. I think next year things are looking dicey. What do you have any as a Montreal fan? This Toronto. I'm going to talk to Arash Madani an hour or two. This Toronto debacle, though, John Chayka. I just started reading up like who he was and more about him. I'm like, and Steve Simmons putting him kind of on blast there on the presser. But I'm like, Toronto, of all teams, Toronto, what are you doing hiring someone so volatile or causing such a scene?
Well, and it's just such because I remember when Chayka was with Arizona, then there was the whole draft combine thing and like him trying to find another job while he had a job. And like back then, though, as you remember, everything around Arizona was a mess. So I just remember thinking that sounds about right for Arizona and then moving on. And when I heard him talking about it, but it wasn't just him, it was like every name that came up. I just was thinking, why is this who you're picking? Like, as a Canadians fan, when they were like, we're going to have Kent Hughes, I was like, I don't know who is Kent Hughes? Because he was an agent, right? Like, I didn't know who he was, and he's done a great job. But it just seems odd to bring a guy who has any sort of negative history into what is a very complicated retool that they're going to have to do. And by the sounds of it, through the reporting, all the other GMs hate him. So how they're not going to give him a deal or anything. So it's just, and they brought in Mats to try to like soften the blow, I guess, of the hiring, and it just didn't work. And Keith Pelly is one of the worst people I've ever seen in a press conference. He just gets like beat pink red mad, and he just seems offended that anybody is asking him a question about anything. They just need to put out just paper releases, because I saw John and Mats did like other media after, and they were fine on there. It was just that press conference was horrific.
I don't like talk about being a heat bag. For Toronto, what are you doing? I guess let's fly under the radar. James on the text line. Hey, boys. James, I think you got a gas leak. Pelly should trade Matthews to the Oilers and send 97 home to finish his career. Maybe throw in some blonde salad dye he likes to sport with MLSC press conferences. He struggles at the mic, James. Yeah. But yeah. That's the other thing with them. Austin Matthews, what's he thinking right now? Like, is he not going to say, you know what? I think I'm tapping out here. This is dysfunctional.
Yeah, I to be honest with you, I think depending on how the draft lottery goes tonight, I saw today that it was reported that like Austin hasn't like fully doesn't know if he's coming back or not next year. That's a guy that I see going to LA. That's a guy where I see if they pull the trigger, that's where the Leafs go get like a Brant Clark or something out of LA, and they pull in a young puck-moving defenseman. They get a high pick here, and they just kind of move on, because Austin's at the peak in terms of value to an American market right now, right? He's Captain America. So I just don't know. For me as a Canadians fan, basically what Leafs fans are going through right now, where they're talking about the Canadians, where they're like, oh my God, this team's going to be so good for the next 10 years. That was me 10 years ago. I was like, great, I'm going to have to watch the Leafs win 2 or 3 Stanley Cups and deal with that. And it never happened. So I don't know. They have to make a decision at some point what they're doing, but God knows who's going to make that decision.
I like it. I like your LA idea there. And then, like I said before with Connor, I just feel like these Dallases, Florida, Tampa, maybe Nashville to an extent. No state tax there too.
Yeah.
I think one of these, they're going to land some big names. And then let's close NHL draft lottery. Vancouver has got 25.5%. Then Chicago, 13.5%. New York Rangers, 11.5%. Calgary, 9.5%. Toronto, 8.5%. Winnipeg, 6.5%. Obviously, it's all a gut shot, right? You play the odds and all that, but what if it's Winnipeg? I got a soft spot for Winnipeg.
It's funny that you said that. I actually, when I was sitting here, I fired up the Tankathon, and the first sim I did, Winnipeg won the draft lottery.
Oh, really?
So who knows? Maybe they do. And I did it a couple of times, and the two worst results were Seattle, just because that's a nothing burger. Like, Seattle is irrelevant. And the Panthers winning the draft lottery was the other one I got, which would just be absolute hell. So,
okay, so obviously we have to take Montreal advancing. Who's your final four, though?
You know, it's funny. My Stanley Cup pick was Ottawa and Dallas, which looks awful.
What?
Yeah. I just have always liked Dallas. And Ottawa looked good. Like, I can't remember what their analytics were. Anyways, I think it's very obviously going to be Colorado and Carolina. And I think Colorado just will crush Carolina in the Cup final, if I had to guess.
Really? Okay. I'm very curious.
Because Carolina plays that they play that smothering style. Every time I watch Carolina play somebody, the other team looks terrible. So obviously it has something to do with how good Carolina is. So
and then doesn't Rob Brind'Amour he's just scary. Like, I feel like even when his guys take penalties, like, he's got like muscles in his face that other people don't have, or they just show him, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if
I mean, his name is Rod. Have you ever ran into somebody else named Rod? I thought his name was Rob my entire time I was a kid, and then I found his name was Rod. And I was like, well, that makes sense for that just brick house of a man screaming at you from the bench. And if Frederick Anderson can keep it together, maybe they can finally get over the hump, right? But, I would go Carolina, Colorado in the final.
Okay.
And then for Montreal and Buffalo, I think it's going to go 6 or 7. And I honestly think it's as much as it pains me to say, I think it is a toss-up, either or. I think it's going to be similar to Tampa, Montreal. I am a very pessimistic fan, though, so I just assume Buffalo's going to win, but we'll see.
I'm a half-empty guy, too. So maybe we catch up late next week or when the series is done. We'll do this again.
Yeah, maybe I'll answer the phone crying.
No, you picked Ottawa. You seem
that was tough. That's a tough look. That's why. This is why I don't do what you do. I'm bad at predictions.
Keep up the good work, Sean. Thanks for joining us again. You can hear him on the Wolf and also X out in Alberta. Sean McEwan joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Lots of fun. Yeah, that NHL draft lottery. It's going to be interesting. I can't believe I got a soft spot for a Winnipeg, but I do. Okay, a couple of text messages here. We'll get to those when we come back. Also, Ryan Ulmer from the Flin Flon Bombers. It's the Sports Cage, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
If you've been putting up with cold showers and hard water that makes everything feel like more work, stop waiting. Reliance Heat makes it easy. Rent a water heater and a water softener starting at about $1.20 a day and get $400. That means hot water when you need it and water that just works better. No big upfront cost, no hassles. Visit waterheaterrentals.com to get the offer.
Call on Reliance.
Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The auction calendar is stacked at Ritchie Brothers, and an exciting Regina auction is happening May 28th. Visit their website or Regina location to view a wide variety of used heavy equipment from top brand manufacturers. You won't want to miss this great opportunity. Head to rbauction.com/Regina to sign up and be ready for the auction. Again, that's rbauction.com/Regina.
Sask Lotteries has over 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. Powered by Prairie Land Rentals. From power tools to skid steers, they probably have what you need for your job. 600 Albert Street, where you deal with the owner. If it's happening in sports in Saskatchewan, we've got it covered on Sportscage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. On your radio at 620 CKRM and online at sportscage.com.
Okay, welcome back. Sportscage for Saskatchewan Lotteries on this Tuesday. I'm sorry. Prairie Land Rentals text line, where I just had the owner of Prairie Land Rentals message and say somebody just called about the lawnmower sale. Yeah. Robotic lawnmowers. Husqvarna, $1,000 off. What, are we stupid? Are we all stupid cutting our lawns?
I thought you were going to say someone called asking about snowblowers.
Yeah, 600 Albert Street. Deal with the owner. That's who picked up the phone. If you're buying a lawnmower, you want to put it together and worry about a big box and you're going to take it back. Good luck on all that. Get it from Prairie Land Rentals. Okay, no name on this text. You got to send your name. We would love your names and where you're from on the text line. Please. 936-6262. But here we go. As an Oiler fan, I'm calm, but I'm very uncertain with my team's thinking. Not sure where to go with this team. Okay? Then the next text. And then 14 minutes later, you're hurting me with this conversation about trading McDavid, but I think it's a bigger possibility than we all want to think. I don't want to hurt you. Do you really want to hurt me? Do you really want to make me cry? There's a little Dave Thomasism for you. You're an Oiler fan. What happens next summer? You can't go into that last year. Maybe you can do it at the trade deadline if things aren't going well. But then, does Connor pull you a solid? And after that second, you'll be like, okay, I'll sign for 1 year so you guys can get something for me. I don't know. Is that allowed? I think it's coming. It's more imminent than we or Oiler fans think. YouTube chat early. Josh said, hey, Barney, go Riders. Sure, Josh. Rookie camp starts tomorrow. Get out there. Up at Griffith Stadium. Steve-O also says, Sportscage, best sports show in the West. Captain Harvey Ryder agrees. What West, though? Where are we cutting it off? I don't want to say, are we going Manitoba to BC? That's lofty. I don't know if we're the best.
There's a lot of sports shows in BC.
Top 10? But thanks, so. Thanks for the kind words. We don't like to run splitters and stuff saying we're the best and the biggest. That's just cheesy. We know where we are. We'll stay in our lane. But thanks. We appreciate you listening. More from James. Win or lose, don't you dare ask Roddy Brindamore why he is just a touch of gray salad or you're going to be real sorry. Guy is intense at church, I bet. Be awesome to be in a gym with him and work out. See what he does. 60 sets of 60 for him. And we have a McDavid to the Leafs guaranteed. Oh. I'm not going to go into a Gitch bet on that one, but I could maybe see that happening. Maybe. But I think you're going in from one pressure cooker to another. He needs a break. He needs to get away. Keep the text coming. You guys are a lot of fun. 936-6262. Last night at about 9 o'clock, I recorded this interview because they flew out this morning from Regina. They're from Flin. Hockey Canada, I guess they played the odds on a team from being from this area, going to the national championship, but they were on the bus. They got in late last night, so I had a chance to catch up with Regina's Ryan Ulmer before they boarded the plane this morning to Summerside, PEI. Okay, first off, let's talk about the trip today. It's not like you guys had enough miles on the bus that you have to come all the way to Regina to fly out.
Yeah, no, thankfully we got the new bus going too. So the old the old one wasn't the best, but no, it was a lot of travel this playoffs. Obviously, all South teams, so on the road a ton, but it was good. Like those times on the bus with the boys are kind of what you remember. So it's pretty fun. But yeah, long travel days for sure.
When did you guys find out that you were going to have to fly out of Regina?
Yeah, like I don't even know. Like last week, we were just told, yeah, flying out of Regina to Halifax and then drive to PEI. So yeah,
it just keeps getting better. Okay, but the one cool thing for you, Rye, is man, you're going to back national championships.
Yeah, it's honestly a dream come true. Like if you would have told me that a few years ago, probably wouldn't believe you. But no, it's pretty special to be a part of two groups like this that are just winning teams. So it's super special, and I'm super grateful to be a part of it all for sure.
This run in the playoffs, obviously first round, you guys kind of take care of business easy. That series with Weyburn though, I think a lot of people maybe are looking at that and saying like that was such a battle that could have went either way. Do you guys feel that? Is that a series that you guys were really tested? Nothing against the other teams.
Yeah.
But Weyburn really pushed you guys?
Yeah. No, they played us super well. Like they're a really good hockey team. They play with lots of speed and they compete hard, and they're a very structured team too. So they're kind of similar structure to us as well, so it's kind of like whoever plays the kind of structure better is who's going to come out on top. But yeah, no, they're a great team. I thought they were the second best team all year. It's crazy to me that they finished fifth, honestly, but yeah, like they played us really well for sure.
For you and your game, I know we talked earlier in the year, but coming from AAA, where you a lot of success, and obviously with the Pats C's last year, but this year, like if you were going to sit and dissect your game, like how has it evolved? Where have you gotten better?
I think I've learned a ton this year. Like obviously junior's a different game, and I've kind of adapted my game to that level, and I think Regs is a big part of that. He's kind of helped me with a lot of that, but just kind of like using my tools to my advantage, like using my speed and like my playmaking, just being smart with the puck and not making bad turnovers and stuff like that, just kind of earning the coach's trust like along the road slowly but surely. It was kind of the key for me to have success this year.
Have there been any of the the veterans or any of the guys on the team that have kind of helped you as well?
Yeah, a little bit for sure. Like obviously you skate with them every day, so you learn a lot. Like those guys are 20 years old. They've been playing junior hockey for 3-4 years. So there's lots of little things that you kind of pick up on, like with their habits and what they do every day, and kind of just how they prepare themselves every day to practice. Like obviously games, they're going to be super dialed in, but even just being dialed in for practice every day and going to the gym and that kind of thing, like you pick up lots of stuff for sure.
How important was it for you guys, and I'm sure you guys got it as a group, but for Mike to finally win an SJHL championship?
No, we were all super pumped for him, obviously. Like, been coaching for 19 years, and he's been to the finals how many times? I think it was his 6th time maybe, so it was overdue, and he was well deserving of it. So we're just super happy to be a part of the group that got it done and brought the championship to Flin.
What makes him such a good coach? Because you've had good coaches, and every coach is different and all that. But like Mike Reagan, like if you had to break it down, like what makes him a good coach?
Kind of his philosophy, just on like the mental side of it, and like how he prepares us for everything and games and everything. And obviously the experience is huge. Like coaching in junior league for 20 years is like a huge accomplishment, obviously, and he's one of the best to do it. So yeah.
When we talked to him, and I'm going to play this tomorrow Wednesday on the Cage, but it's a funny story because you guys got the new bus, and then there's talk that the curse was the old bus.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's been discussed for sure. It wasn't the best, but yeah, we're all super happy to be in this new one. It's a little better of a ride. It doesn't break down or anything, so it's nice.
How have you guys handled, I guess, the last week or this, the days since the Yorkton series ended? Obviously, sweeping is so key. How have you guys handled this? Did you have a couple days off? Was it, kind of just light practices? How's the week gone?
Yeah, we had a few days off there, kind of after to celebrate the win and stuff like that. But then we got back to work pretty quick and started practicing, started getting back into the flow of things. And yeah, I think we've done a good job kind of preparing ourselves for this opportunity. And yeah, no, we're excited to make the most of it here. So
I think Mike said that the assistant coaches are doing a lot of the heavy lifting as far as scouting the other teams. What are you guys expecting? Well, first off, the teams that you got to play in your pool.
Yeah, I honestly don't know a ton about them yet. We'll be watching lots of video, obviously, when it gets kind of closer to it. I think I've heard the Toronto team is super strong, the OJ that would be. So, but I haven't heard about the other teams. I think we play the Maritimes, that would be Truro, and we play the Quebec team first, and then we got the Noge, I think, which is Sudbury. So yeah, we're excited for it. But
so you guys are gonna kind of prepare more when you get there.
Yeah, I think so.
What if a team's looking at you guys and saying, well, these guys from the SJ, obviously probably top to bottom the best league in the country. If teams are looking at Flin Flon and scouting you guys, what do you think they're saying?
I think they're going to talk about. Just our compete level. I think we skate up and down the ice really well. We transition well. I think physicality is a huge one too. I'm not sure what to expect from these other teams with, the physicality level, but I know that we're going to bring it for sure. So I think that's kind of the biggest part that it'll be for them.
Who are the guys on your team? Because I got to watch you live the one game. Who are the guys on your team that if you were playing against, you'd have to keep that bean up a bit?
Yeah, that Landon Alexander and Red Ewan line would be the biggest one for sure. Those guys like to throw the body around. Reed Arbery, him as well. And we got quite a few big defensemen that like to throw it around as well. So yeah, I know the boys love to play physical, and it seemed to work for us. So.
And you guys are obviously pumped. I'm sure a lot of guys haven't been to PEI. You guys are pumped for the experience, even though it's a far ways. You guys are pumped to go do it there.
Yeah, no, it's pretty exciting. Like, I don't think any of us have ever been out there, so we're excited to kind of go check it out. But yeah, no, obviously for the hockey part of it, we're super pumped too. Like, to be playing a bunch of champions and playing the best in Canada, like, we're all stoked for that. And yeah, should be good.
All right, man. Well, thanks for doing this. Like I said at the start, right? Back-to-back national championships you get to go to. Obviously, not to jinx it, but winning it. I don't know if that's been done. We'll have to go through. But maybe the last thing I want to say is another guy I'm talking to today. How about your boy Jonah Sivertson? Right, playing for a WHL championship.
Yeah, no, I was actually just talking to him earlier today. No, I'm super pumped for him. Obviously, that's a really good league, and to make the championship there, like, that's huge. So, super proud of him. I think he had the highlight of the night last night too. He scored a big goal. So, yeah, I was pretty happy from there.
Right on, man. All right. Well, travel safe, and we'll all be watching. And I appreciate you taking some time, Ryan.
Sounds good. Thanks again, Barney.
All right, they fired up Friday, the national championship. We're all rooting, right? We're all rooting for Flin Flon now. The SJHL representative. Maybe Arash in hour 2 isn't, because Turo's there. But we'll get into it. Maybe we'll have to have a bet. Maybe we'll place a little wager, a little sprinkle against Arash. It is a Sports Cage. On this Tuesday, I see a bunch of text messages coming in on Connor McDavid, on Austin Matthews. We'll get to those in a bit as well. We're streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
620 CKRM proudly presents the Salute to Saskatchewan 4-H. We encourage all 4-H members, including youth, leaders, and parents, to register your 4-H club to be recognized each week live on the air. Your 4-H club could also win tickets to Moonlight Movies for a free movie and popcorn. This is just 620 CKRM's way of recognizing and saluting the ag leaders of tomorrow. Sponsored by Canadian Agri-Blend, Heartland Livestock Services Yorkton, Cowtown, Weyburn Livestock Exchange, Moose Mountain Pro Rodeo, Whitewood Livestock Sales, She-Ho Sports Days, Mud Fling and Ranch Rodeo, and Hardland Livestock Services Moose Jaw.
I've done this job 100 times. That's often when people stop thinking about the risk. But falls from ladders, roofs, scaffolds, and other elevated surfaces can happen to anyone. Take the time to inspect your equipment. Use the right fall protection. Make sure the job is planned properly before work begins. Because experience doesn't stop a fall. Prevention does. Visit WorksafeSask.ca to learn more.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Strasbourg, Last Mountain Lake area, call Dean at Solid Works Carpentry or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
You wouldn't cut the lawn with a pair of scissors. You wouldn't use a leaf blower to dry your hair before a night out on Dudney. And you wouldn't wear a Speedo to go ice fishing. Well, some of you might. From H2S, forklift, first aid, respiratory, and drug and alcohol testing to fall protection and even personal home care, get all the training you need before you head to the job site. And maybe try a snowsuit instead of that Speedo. Armor Safety Inc. provides comprehensive occupational safety and health services to Saskatchewan industry. Keep the armor on. ArmorSafety.com.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Rent a water heater and water softener starting at about $1.20 a day and get $400 when you switch to Reliance Heath.
Okay, only one game in the National Hockey League tonight, and it's the Colorado Avalanche home to the Minnesota Wild. What are we going to get in this one in Game 2? Everybody thinks Colorado's walking. I don't know. Minnesota's scrappy. Puck drop 6 p.m. Saski time. NHL Draft Lottery, 5 o'clock. We'll keep you updated here. Vancouver has the juiciest odds at 25.5. Winnipeg is the 6th at 6.5. Major League Baseball. The Toronto Blue Jays are in action. 4:40 first pitch in Tampa against the Rays. Sports Ticker in hour number 1 brought to you by the Reliance Group of Companies. Water heater softener together starting at just $1.20 a day. You get $400 cash back too. Some conditions apply. Switch to Reliance. Call on Reliance. All right, 20 seconds. Colson. Paradigm Rentals text line. One that I wanted to get to here, Dino. He's a Habs fan. He said they're all of a sudden an easy team to cheer for. There's no one really to hate on that team. I don't know that for sure. Dean, we'd have to dissect it. But yeah, I don't mind the Habs. Kind of cheering for the Habs. Kind of want to go to a game. That atmosphere looks unbelievable. This Toronto debacle, I can't wait to talk to Arash Madani about it and what's going on there. We'll be back with Arash Madani in hour 2. The Sports Cage for Saskatchewan Lotteries on this Tuesday. Talk to you after the news.
This is 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station. Available everywhere in high-res audio with the CKRM app.
It's 4 p.m. Good afternoon, mostly cloudy and 7 degrees in Regina. I'm Denis Conroy from the Saturday Newsroom with 620 CKRM News. The Saskatchewan government is seeking input from families on possible limits to social media use for youth under 16. A mailed postcard survey asks whether rules should include a full ban, parental consent, or no restrictions. Premier Scott Moe says the results will help guide federal discussions. Mental Health Minister Lori Carr says the move responds to growing concerns about youth mental health.
But we want to hear directly from Saskatchewan families and how they feel about the path forward on what limits might look like and how they feel about those limits. We don't know what the outcome of that might be with respect to the experts. We appreciate that, but we really want to hear directly from the families within Saskatchewan.
Completed postcards can be mailed back by June 30th, with results reviewed over the summer across the province this year. Online training is now available for producers joining Saskatchewan's Strychnine Stewardship Program. The course is required for rural municipalities to access 2% liquid strychnine for Richardson ground squirrel control. Agricultural Minister David Merritt is urging early completion. The 90-minute online training covers safe use, environmental protection, and pest management. Certified users must also submit a treatment plan with limited supplies set for distribution this spring and additional shipments expected throughout the summer. The Saskatchewan government is strengthening carbon monoxide alarm rules, now requiring them in all residential suites. The changes, called Henry's Law, follow the death of Henry Losco and aim to improve safety for residents. Officials say the update builds on earlier rules and ensures better protection from carbon monoxide exposure. Henry's family supports the changes, saying they hope it helps prevent future tragedies. Rental Housing Saskatchewan also backs the move and will help members follow the new rules while keeping tenants safe. A farmer from the Quill Lake area is dealing with flooding after a rapid melt over the weekend. Dean Sawchuk says the farm is close to a creek, so the culverts couldn't handle the high flow of water.
Can't get through the culverts fast enough, and it just got about 2.5 feet of water in his entire yard.
Sawchuk says they managed to move their cattle from the yard to a nearby pasture. Regina is celebrating culture and connection as the 2026 Mosaic Festival kicked off with a vibrant medallion ceremony over the weekend. The 56th Annual Festival of Cultures runs June 4th to the 6th with 19 pavilions to be showcased citywide. At Victoria Square, ambassadors were honored as Mayor Chad Bashinsky called the festival a reflection of a diverse, welcoming city. Lieutenant Governor Bernadette McIntyre said, "Mosaic shows Saskatchewan's strength in diversity." That's 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com.
Weather for next-gen coatings. Spray coatings for truck bed liners, rocker panels, and more. Same company, new name. 1865 McCarra Street, Regina.
Weather tonight, a few clouds and a low down to -6. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 10. Tomorrow night, clear, a low down to -2. Thursday, partly to mostly sunny and a high of 15. Looking at Friday, partly sunny. Maybe some isolated showers in the area, though, and a high of 19. Saturday, partly to mostly sunny and a high of 12. Currently in downtown Regina, partly cloudy sky. It is 6 degrees, but it does feel like 1.
For over 40 years, you've known them as Regina's trusted vehicle protection specialists. Now they're introducing the next gen of coatings. New name, new level of protection. They're now next gen coatings. 3 generations of their family have served your family, and that hasn't changed. Same owners, same commitment, ready for the next gen of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards. The company hasn't changed, just the name. Next Gen Coatings, 1865 McCarra Street. The next gen starts now.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Tuesday edition of the Sports Cage rolling on. We're into hour 2. Arash Madani should be with us momentarily. Thank you for making some time, whether you're listening on 620 CKRM, celebrating 100 years, not a big deal, or any of the audio streams. And of course, you can watch it through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. Hey, shout out to everyone listening in the Strasbourg region, the Denbourg farm. They, what does it say here? They moved to the area from Alberta 4 years ago. They're originally from Holland, and they won the country cookout, the first country cookout. Everyone's out there having a good time. I heard Colin earlier said he went by the Strasbourg Community Hall and it was packed. Museum or hall? Why would the museum be packed? Well, I guess people are curious. I thought it was the community center. Why didn't he peek his head in? You never know. Cribbage tournament, Kaiser tournament, gambling. Yeah, so everyone out in Strasbourg having fun. The Denboer farm, originally from Holland. And they'd be very interesting to talk to. They're the kind of people that I could sit down and talk to for a while. They got a lot of cold 016s there, I know that. Good food from Nikki's Cafe. Last Mountain Distillery products. I heard their new, they got a new little sampler that they're taking out to these country cookouts that are really good. So yeah, I forgot about that going on today with CKRM. All right, in this hour, Arash Madani standing by. We're going to talk to him. We got Clutch Performer coming up. And then from the Prince Albert Raiders, Regina boy, Jonah Sivertson. That's how we're doing it here for the next hour for Saskatchewan Lotteries. And as we see him there, all set up and ready to go, let's go talk to the guy who has the same optometrist or buys the same glasses as Steve Simmons.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
Those are the same glasses, man. And that's not a bad thing. I like those. I think they look great on you. Look good on him.
I have a question. I've spent some time on the prairies. And people say to me, oh man, if the Leafs ever make the Stanley Cup, then all of Canada is going to be interested. I'm like, yeah, I agree with that because half of Canada is going to hate watch the Leafs. You know, like there are more people, my take is there are more people in Canada who dislike the Leafs than like the Leafs.
Probably the most divided team in Canada to make the Stanley Cup would be the Leafs, I would think.
Like when the Oilers got to the Cup final the last couple of years, outside of Calgary, nobody really hates the Oilers. You know? True. If the Senators get in, it's almost like a little golf clap. Hey, a charity UNICEF just got to the Stanley Cup final. Congratulations.
Love UNICEF.
Right. Vancouver got there and everyone was like, well, just don't burn the city down.
Actually, Vancouver's very... I don't kill the messenger.
Yep.
Vancouver's really hated, I find, especially by Alberta folk.
Interesting. Okay.
Alberta. I might move to Alberta soon. But yeah, and then Winnipeg. If Winnipeg...
Well, it's a big if, too.
But I think people would be like, again, clap, charity team.
Yeah.
They were close, man. They were 2 years ago, last year. Can we play the Steve Simmons? People that haven't heard it, and then we'll get into it.
Please.
Okay, this is the press conference yesterday. Steve Simmons asking Steve Pelly about the new hire at GM.
Simmons? Steve Simmons, Toronto Sun, for Keith. You talk about the due diligence that you did on John prior to hiring him and now hiring him. In the past, say, 3 to 4 days, I have been in contact with about 20 people who work in the National Hockey League, many of whom are prominent names that we would all know. And of the 20 people I spoke to, one was supportive of John's hiring, and the other 19 thought it was a sham, to be perfectly honest. Words were used like con artist, liar, salesman. How did you come to a different conclusion that I was able to come to in a very short time?
I must have talked to different people.
That's it? Because the hockey world today is astounded by this announcement.
Okay.
And your response to that?
Is we've conducted due diligence, and it was deep due diligence. It was a thorough process, and I'm quite happy with where we've landed.
And John's sitting right. People that are listening on the radio, have you ever heard? He's sitting right beside him while he asks this
So it's
question.
Pelly in the middle, flanked by Chai on one side, and Matt Sundin on the other. And the moment Sundin sees Simmons and hears his voice, like you could almost tell is like, uh-oh. Like I dealt with this for whatever it was, 12, 13, 14 years. I don't have a good feeling about this. And then, like, you're almost seeing the hamster wheel go and the Sundin dreads start to hit Barney. And he's like, oh, God, what have I gotten myself back into?
Matt's thinking of his house on that island when you pull out of Stockholm. And he's like, why did I come? What am I doing here?
What am I doing here?
Hey, is Steve Pelly really...
Keith Pelly.
Is Keith Pelly really liked by the media in Toronto? You might have to be careful on this one. Or do they all want to take shots at him?
It's an interesting one because, so like if you go back 30 years, and I'm going to be real quick on this, the person who kind of developed Friday Night Football on TSN for the CFL was Keith Pelly. And Keith Pelly was like he was a truck producer. He was the person kind of producing games. Then he got into management. Then he was the president of the Argos for a little while. Then when Vancouver got the Olympics, Pelly was overseeing the broadcast of the Vancouver Olympics. And then he went over to Rogers Sports and Media and signed the 12, 13-year deal, $5 billion with the NHL. But then he disappeared, Barney. He went over to run the European Golf Tour. He was in London for like 7 or 8 years. And now he's come back to run MLSE. And here's a dude from Toronto who's now running the Leafs, and he wants to run the Leafs. And he's running the Raptors and, all of MLSE. So I don't think there was a negative thing when he got hired a little over a year or two ago. But it's what's happened since he's become the lightning rod of so much that's gone wrong. And he's been in the middle of it, and it feels like so many of his press conferences have just been unmitigated disasters.
It's like I tell my kids, it's like sometimes or when I'm coaching, don't draw attention to yourself. Just hang out in the weeds. Don't arms flailing on fire. What are the Leafs doing here? Like, fly under the radar. Make a safe and easy pick. Someone that can help you win. And what are they doing with Mr. Analytics guy whose past is borderline like hiring a criminal?
I just don't understand how you do a, air quote, global search for the hire that Pelly said was going to be the most important of his tenure at MLSE.
Oof.
And end up with this. And I think the Sundin piece to all of this, Barney, is really interesting because it's almost like they put Mats, the beloved former captain, as this human shield in the middle of all this. Mats' role was never to block shots. And now they've kind of put him right in the middle of the firing squad.
It's like they brought a cute mascot, and they did it in a loud room so no one freaks out. Mats is here. It was so awkward, man.
And so many people right now around there, because there's a merger coming up with ownership, whatever. Everybody seems afraid right now of their jobs. Of what's going to happen when this merger hits. There's always efficiencies when there's a merger. Who's left in the room to say, hey, this isn't the right thing to do when it comes to our approach to all this? Like, if you're going into a press conference like that, if you're going to be well prepped for it, you're going to have a strategy for the 100 questions that could possibly be asked, the 50 questions that could possibly be asked. That was not the way to handle it.
There's no turning back. This isn't the University of Regina.
Yeah. No, this is it. But this is where things get interesting, Barney. Because what we've seen over the last few years is player empowerment so much that players are deciding things a lot, way less than GMs and coaches are. And it hadn't hit the National Hockey League until I feel the last couple of weeks when Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl sat at the podium and said what they said. That just get, Brady Tkachuk's been kind of nipping at this for a little while now in Ottawa. Now the question in these parts becomes the future of Austin Matthews. And Chris Johnson, my former colleague, who is now over at The Athletic and TSN doing terrific reporting, CJ has basically come out and said Austin Matthews wants assurances of more. Austin Matthews he doesn't like where things are. And, this whole thing of players play and coaches coach and general managers manage, that doesn't exist anymore. That's not how it really works. And if Matthews wants out, if Matthews is going to say that's it, then what? To me, now Austin Matthews and Austin Matthews camp is going, all right, they opened the door. They gave us the out. They did it to themselves. I love this place. I loved playing here. My heart and soul. I just feel for myself, my mental well-being, I have to move on. And he's just pumping. He's just like, yes, let's drive. Don't turn back, drive. Drive. Barney, like Marner's in Vegas now. The goaltender called out the team. Who knows what the future of Morgan Riley is? Not that the production's been where it needs to be. True. If the captain talks his way out of town or demands his way out of town, not just WTF, but WTF is left for a team that finished, 28th? And now you're going to leave it up to a general manager who has a track record of accomplishing nothing? Yeah. And the data shows that. It's a data guy. It's funny when the data people have the data thrown right back in their face, huh? Yeah. That's where my wife will go, well, is it refined data? I'm like, I don't know. It just says right there. And then, it's like, hey, well, let's get Matt's take on this. Hey, Matt, what do you think? Matt's not in his office. Matt's got a be back never sign on his door. Matt's on a leave of absence. Matt's on a Scandinavian cruise. He's on a scouting mission somewhere between Norway and Finland right about now. His phone has been thrown off the deck into the no, man, I don't see how this turns out even remotely good. I think Austin Matthews he's on his way out. Mitch Marner's probably texting him and be like, buddy, get out. Like, female or male, when your friend's in a bad relationship and you're like, pull that ripcord. That's what Marner's sending to Matthews. I think back to the start of training camp last season, and when Marner went to Vegas, Craig Berube is like, well, I'm happy that people won't be asking me about the core four anymore. Well, Craig, be careful what you wish for, because you might not have a core left of any number other than a big round one, the way this thing's going. Let's not go away from hockey here. Here's my take on this, okay. Arash. And I hurt already. I've only been here for an hour and 20 minutes. I hurt an Edmonton Oilers fan with my talk. I think 14 months from now, it's, or get off the pot.
because I don't know if the Oilers take this McDavid thing into year 2, and the worst case scenario, you end up with nothing, and then you move him at the trade deadline, where you're going to be in the hunt of something, but then once that goes, you're gonna be left with Bubkus.
Hold up. Are we actually openly discussing Connor McDavid being moved at the trade deadline?
I think he gets moved next summer.
Next summer, okay.
I don't know if he can go into that final year of his deal.
Yeah.
Do you think he
this
can?
Is going to make, Barney, this is going to make a lot of hockey people nervous, anxious that player empowerment is here and it's real, that the players are running the show and they're not. The power imbalance or the power balance has shifted. They don't have the control anymore.
It's like I was talking to someone, and I don't know if you know what's going on here in Regina. The Pats are searching for a head coach. The Regina Pats have a generational talent in Maddox Schultz. He's going to play in the NHL. He's going to get drafted really high in 2 or 3 years down the road. And they also have this Liam Pugh kid, who is kind of a generational talent. So now they're hiring a head coach. And I was debating with some guys the other day. My take, no one else's. I don't know. Dale Durkach, great guy. Sean Semple, the owner, he could hire whoever. He could just go and hire this Cheka guy if he wanted to, even though he just... But I think I would have to be crazy not to think that Maddox or Schultz representatives are going to have a say in who this coach is.
I agree. These are the things that happen. Look, you don't think already Connor McDavid had a say in some of the coaching moves that have happened in Edmonton over the last few years? Come on. You know?
Yeah.
This is real. Like, a new era is in front of us. It's happening. It's changing right before our eyes. Like, this is real.
Someone texted in about Leon's contract. I know, but this time around, Connor's looking out for Connor, and I think more importantly, Lauren is going to be looking out for the McDavids and Lenny the dog, and being like, we put in our time.
Yeah.
And why would he go to Toronto? And people are saying maybe he will. I don't know, but if you're in an absolute pressure cooker of a job, and you're going to leave that pressure cooker for maybe even more of a pressure cooker, no, you want to kind of glide into something.
And Barney, you and I have talked about this before. Like, what people have to remember is players kind of look at the whole thing. Okay, what matters to them? Winning is part of it. Money's part of it. City is part of it. Taxes is part of it. Have I mentioned winning yet? Have I mentioned the money yet?
You didn't mention the other W, wife.
All of this matters. And remember, this is their job. So when you're looking at any kind of job situation, what matters to you? Is it, okay, where can I ascend in the organization? Is it money up front? Is it what's my take home going to be? Is it, hey, I'm used to traveling, I want to continue traveling, or I've been traveling too much, I want to stay at home. All these things go into it for a player. But to me, Connor McDavid has been, like, this is not about money for McDavid. McDavid's going to get his wherever. He's the best player in the world, right? So he's going to get whatever money he wants. What matters to him?
The ring.
And
Legacy.
The Edmonton Oilers came so close, and they have done nothing to improve the team. And there's an argument, like, I don't know, I look at it and I'm like, it's not that they haven't gotten better, they've gotten worse. What are you doing?
Okay, so walk me through this. That's where Daryl Cates, going to go get a tan on. Then he's going to come out and he's going to say, we're shaking things up. We're making big moves. Maybe Bowman's gone. Maybe Knobloch's gone. Player's gone. That is a massive matzo ball hanging out there because you probably only got 1 year. Because remember, Connor only has 2 years left on this thing. So is it really 2? I don't think it's really 2. So you blow this thing up, you bring in who knows what for next year, and you hope. And then another tidbit here, then I'll let you go. Yesterday, somebody said to me, well, the Oilers have made big splashes before. You know, they could, just like what they did with Wayne, they traded him. And I'm like, you're talking Oregon Trail to video games that they're playing. Like, it's night and day. In 1989, the sexiest place to go play, if your wife was Janet Jones, was Los Angeles, for sure. Let me run down some of the other teams in 1988-89 that were in the league. Hartford, Quebec, all the island, Jersey, Winnipeg. Like, there was nowhere to go. Now, you have all these warm, no tax. Lauren opens up a nice restaurant on a beach. I don't care, on a boardwalk somewhere. I'm like, it is. I feel that things are coming so quick.
Careful. You gotta be really careful if you're Edmonton here, because if McDavid's gone, Leon follows.
Oh.
And then what are you selling in a brand new rink with obscene price tickets and obscene price suites, and your concessions are among the most expensive in the league, and that's brand spanking new.
Sorry, Edmonton fans, that we're talking about this, but I just feel like this is real, and it's going to happen real quick. So,
do you know what we have done today, Barney? Successfully?
Change the world?
We
make it a better place?
Close. Like almost on par. This conversation may have Jeffrey in Calgary in a good mood, talking about the implosion of Edmonton. This may actually have him kind of sitting back with a glass of something, brown liquor cocktail, and he's lit a cigar, and he's like, more. Tell me more.
He's on his stoop in Calgary with a speaker and us and a 40 ounce of Calgary, and he's chugging it with a rolled dart, treating himself today. Jeffrey out in Calgary. How about that game the other night? Oh, I looked at the over-under tonight. I'm going to get to Sprinkle of the Day in a bit. An NHL playoff game with 15 goals.
Okay, so what's crazier? A 9-6 final? I think it was. What's crazier? A 9-6
I know what you're going to say.
Result?
I know what you're going to say.
Or a team has 9 shots on goal, none in the second period, and you win a game 7 that way.
I love how greasy that was.
Oh my gosh. People talk about the NFL being fixed. I'm like, man.
Jeffrey says he is celebrating, minus the booze and the dart.
Jeffrey, honestly, Jeffrey, thank you for being a loyal watcher, listener. Like, amazing.
Thanks for being. If they do somehow find budget to send me to the Grey Cup next year to do this, you might have to come, and I might buy Jeffrey some Pete's Drive-In. We'll do a lunch.
There you go.
Milkshake.
Also, let's get Jeffrey on the show for a 3-minute segment.
Absolutely. Jeffrey, he'll come in a suit. I feel that he's got a suit that he'd wear. Let's talk some CFL before we go.
Yeah.
Rookie training camp starting tomorrow in Saskatoon. We're all over it. We're covering it like crazy here. But next year this time. Is it next year? Yeah, next year this time.
Next year.
Like they'll be already buzzing. They'll be getting ready for kickoff.
They'll be almost. So this is, I like to think about unintended consequences of decisions a lot. What's the unintended? Yeah, I know. Except when it comes to my gambling account, but that's a different story for a different day. But the unintended consequences of rule changes. We just spent, Barney, the last 2-3 weeks, we had all these fancy graphics that Curtis and Colson put together about the draft and this and that. And we saw, based on where dudes went in the NFL draft, if they signed contracts with an NFL team post-draft, how that affected their CFL draft stock. Here's what's going to happen, Barney. Because of when training camps are going to start, the CFL draft will happen before the NFL draft. So teams are going to go in blind, not knowing. The other is, I was just talking to a CEBL coach today. Saskatoon's got a team, but I'm doing the Edmonton Winnipeg opener on CBC this weekend. They just got a player into training camp today after writing exams. So think about this. Rookie camps, training camps in the CFL in April, they're not going to get the kids who are drafted because they're still going to be in school. They're still going to be writing exams, blah, blah, blah. How far behind the 8 ball are they going to be to try and make a roster stick around as rookies? And that's going to make it really a real disadvantage for the undrafted free agent rookies.
Yeah. Didn't think about the schooling thing.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I always think about.
Of course. Don't we all?
Well, that Kate.
I hadn't thought about it until yesterday when I was talking to a basketball coach, and I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah. I want to ask you, a CFL player that's not on a roster right now, like a Joe, who's in some trouble for a while. But let's go. It's a player that's not on a roster that's going to make an impact on a CFL team this year.
So, to me, impact is quarterback, which means you got to be a veteran quarterback. To me, it's McLeod Bethel-Thompson.
Good one.
He's not on a roster.
Good one.
He started some games last year when Davis Alexander was hurt. He's a league vet. He's been through it. Number of systems, Toronto, Edmonton, Montreal, you name it. You get a guy hurt, you get some ineffective play, you want somebody to come in. If your quarterback situation is really bad in training camp, does MBT get the first call? That's what I wonder.
I like that one. Colson, I think Colson's got a congratulations for you and a question for you. Colson, you're on the line.
Yeah, I saw you were doing play-by-play for the CBL, so congrats there.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Give us a plug.
Yeah.
So this Saturday is the opener. It's Winnipeg versus Edmonton. It's going to be on the main CBC network, 3:30 Eastern time, which I believe is 1:30 in Saskatchewan.
Yep.
And it's a league where at all times 2 Canadians have to be on the floor, and it's guys on the way up trying to crack, NBA rosters or European rosters. I was going through it as part of my prep yesterday. Winnipeg's a legit team. So it's going to be a great summer of basketball in Canada, and pumped to be on the play-by-play call of a bunch of them on CBC.
Good job, buddy.
Nice.
Thank you.
So my other question relates to the CFL. It's the time of year they're announcing theme games for home teams and stuff. The Toronto Argonauts have a fewer home games than normal, but I just noticed today they're having a home away from home game at Hamilton Stadium in week 7.
Yes.
Okay, so people that are listening on the radio, can I just read through this?
Sure.
The theme games for the Toronto Argonauts this year: home away from home game in Hamilton, home opener, very original, showdown at the X where they play Hamilton, the Frosh game. Any idea what that would be? Like Freshie? Like, I don't get it.
I think it's more college students.
Okay.
which is just ridiculous.
Then WWE wrestling game. Future of football game in partnership with the Buffalo Bills. Looney dog game. Okay. Which one of those in Toronto? You live there. Which one of those will be a hit?
So I saw something, what's not listed there, I saw something today. The Argo air quote home opener is August 6th, and it's a Thursday night. And for $40, you can go into section 207, Barney, Colson, unlimited hot dogs, unlimited e-meal bacon sandwiches, unlimited popcorn, unlimited nachos, unlimited soft drinks, unlimited water. Now, to me, a great content play, like I would get Pepto-Bismol and Tums to sponsor this section and just follow 10 people going out the north entrance and 10 people going out the south entrance who leave section 207 and see where that takes them.
Get a nurses union to sponsor it, because these people that are taking advantage of this are the kind that are going to bog down our healthcare system, and the nurses sit there and go, ugh.
Or Cashmere toilet paper is the proud sponsor of the all-you-can-eat section 207.
Oh, you should go to that game just for the videos. Send it.
That would be a good idea.
Did you say nachos?
I did say nachos. E-meal bacon sandwiches.
What are those?
I'm assuming it's 2 pieces of bread with some bacon on it. I mean, for $40, all you can eat.
Jeez.
It's not Augusta National.
Far from. All right. This was fun today. Let's do it again on Thursday.
All right, bud.
See you later. Coast to Coast with our man Arash Madani. It's brought to you by Brian Golly. Smart investing solutions. Be smart with your money. Call on Brian Golly and his team. It's a Sports Cage. We're in hour 2. Still more to come. Interview with Jonah Sivertson from the Prince Albert Raiders, a local boy. And we got Clutch Performer coming up after the break.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Picture this, a crust so golden it could blind a superhero. Toppings piled higher than a stack of pancakes on a trampoline. Every bite, a flavor explosion. Every slice, a hug for your taste buds. Garlic, roasted to perfection. Pepperoni, perfectly spicy. Western Pizza is so good, you'll argue who gets the last slice. Western Pizza. Dine in or take out today.
And get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Gordon tells us why he called Brian Golly of Smart Investing Solutions.
Well, actually, we heard Brian's commercial on TKRM, and at the time I was just retiring, so I was looking for a financial advisor. I would recommend my family, friends, or anybody to contact Brian. He's a super knowledgeable fella.
Don't guess with your money. Call Brian at 306-546-2533. SmartInvestingSolutions.ca.
You can feel it. The snow's gone, the sun's out, and you're ready to get back outside. Hi, I'm Sean from the Rusty Shovel Landscape Shop. This is when everything starts coming back to life. Firing up the sprinklers, cleaning up the beds, adding those finishing touches you've been thinking about. That's what our spring startup event is all about. It gets your yard going again and makes it feel like yours. The spring startup sale is on now until May 9th. Stop by and we'll help you get set up. Great projects start at the shovel. The Rusty Shovel Landscape Shop. 2 green thumbs up.
The Sports Cage Clutch Performer for Keln Solar. Thinking about saving money by using solar power? Keln Solar is a local family company that can put solar panels on your home, business, or farm. KelnSolar.com.
Okay, I got one clutch and then one unclutched. The first one, Victor Hedman put out a release today. If you're watching the stream, we'll throw it up. If not, statement. I spent most of my life in this game and nearly all of my career with this organization wearing this jersey, and serving as captain is the greatest responsibility of my professional life. That responsibility doesn't only apply to on the ice. Over the past couple of months, I've made the decision to step away and focus on my mental health. It was not an easy decision, but it was the right one. I've always believed that being a leader means doing what's best for the team. In this case, it also meant doing what's best and necessary to take care of myself. I want to be the best player, teammate, husband, and father I expect to be. I've been fortunate to have a strong support of my family, my teammates in the organization, my therapists, and I'm in a much better place today. So yeah, it kind of goes on there, but he doesn't retire, doesn't say anything like that. That's what I was waiting for. He says, I'm proud of this team, and I look forward to what's ahead. They missed him.
Oh, yeah.
But he's older. And we talked to Sean McEwan in hour one, and it just wasn't the... I bought that stock, though. I fell for it. I took Tampa in some of my super drafts. Those things can be thrown in the river. But yeah, nice words from Victor. Do you have one?
Yeah. So Niagara Parks put out a tweet today. They're going to be lighting up the Niagara Falls. The American side will be blue and gold for the Buffalo Sabres. The Canadian side will be red, white, and blue for the Montreal Canadiens. I'm like, that's pretty cool. We've got a picture here up on the stream, but yeah, if you go to Niagara Parks on Twitter, that's where it is too.
That is cool.
That's pretty cool because they do the CN Tower, they do the Empire State Building, lighting up Niagara Falls. That's pretty fun.
That's fairly original. It's not like the worst is when mayors wear the other cities' jerseys.
Yeah.
Ugh. Come on. Can be more creative than that. Okay, my last one's Unclutch. And it's head coach of the Barrie Colts, Dylan Smokowitz, and Captain Kashon Atchison. This is their press conference after they won last night.
Words probably escape you after that one. Maybe you can try your best.
No one cares. Work harder.
Okay, Sean, big moment for you, a goal tonight. Hostile environment. What can you say about the way your goaltender played in that one?
No one cares. Work harder.
Questions?
Can you just contrast what you must have been feeling 6 days ago, leaving the arena, losing 6-1, and what you're feeling now?
Yeah, it's a good question. No one cares. Work harder.
What a pigeon.
Like, what is
move? This? Potsy. What a Potsy. Dylan Smokowitz, the head coach of the Barrie Colts. Their victory in Game 7 of the OHL Eastern Conference Final. No one cares. Work harder. You're not Marshawn Lynch. You're not Bill Belichick. They're kids. You just won a big Game 7. Massive pidge move, if you ask me. Unclutch.
I agree with you on that one. That's ridiculous.
Unclutch performer. For Kellen Solar in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. If you're thinking solar, thinking of saving some money, call them. Local company, family owned. Kellen Solar in Lumsden. All right, coming up after the break, we talk to Regina boy Jonah Sivertson as the Prince Albert Raiders get set to head off to Everett to take on the Silvertips in the WHL Championships. We'll have that next. It's the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, the Sportscage on 620 CKRM.
You know that Extreme Hockey and Sport has everything you need for hockey, but spring is just around the corner. They're thinking baseball. Be all set for the ball diamond with team kits, bats, gloves, accessories, and training products all in stock. And let's not forget about lacrosse. Don't let spring throw you a curveball. Be ready with Extreme Hockey and Sport, locally owned, community focused, 1425 McIntyre Street at the Cooperator Center, now in Moose Jaw, and online at extremehockey.net.
Winter in Saskatchewan tests everything, our patience, vehicles, and sometimes our bumpers. From icy parking lot dings to serious highway mishaps, choosing local matters. At Regina Motor Products Collision Center, we're Saskatchewan owned, run, and we drive these roads too. An SGI accredited full-service collision center working on all makes and models. Submit your SGI claim and book your appraisal. It's easy. When you need repairs you can trust, it's neighbors helping neighbors. Regina Motor Products Collision Center, south at Highways 1 and 6 Albert Street, rmpchevrolet.com.
Hey, Regina. Ready?
The monsters are coming. Monsters and Mayhem crashes into Kings Park Speedway July 17th, 18th, and 19th. Finally, Regina, an outdoor, no-holds-barred crushing showdown featuring high-flying, car-crushing monster trucks, wild mini monsters, and gravity-defying freestyle motocross. Tickets on sale this Friday, May 8th. Seating limited. Get yours fast at outlawsofmotorsports.ca. That's outlawsofmotorsports.ca.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
This is Sportscage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. 620 CKRM.
If you miss any of the program and you want to go listen to it anywhere you find or listen to podcasts, you can go and do that or download and watch it on YouTube. Podcast is brought to you by Fries Tallman Lumber, Fort Capel, and Regina, where right now they have the Trex decking sale on this week, and they have delivery if you want to get that to the cabin or the house. Fries Tallman Lumber. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline, talk some WHL hockey. There he is, Regina boy from the Prince Albert Raiders. Second time on the program at least. Maybe it's even more. Jonah Sivertson. Jonah, as we sit here on Tuesday, what was the day like? Did you guys practice this morning? Light practice? Did you do any school? What's the day like today as we get ready for the WHL championship?
Yeah, there hasn't been too much school going on lately, but yeah, we went to the rink this morning. We had about an hour skate, 45 minutes. And then after that, we loaded our bus. Our bus is taken off to Everett, so we put our bags on there. And then, yeah, then we had a little recovery workout after that.
Right on. Medicine Hat, that series. I watch it, right? And I'm not there, so you correct me if I'm wrong. Does that series change at all as it goes? You know, games 1, game 2 to game 6. Did it change at all, or was it pretty much the same? It's just you guys capitalized on chances and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think we kind of knew what they were going to bring. They were going to test us. Obviously, two really good teams, Medicine Hat. And yeah, I think it was kind of the same. I think it's going to be a little bit back and forth. Two really good goal-scoring teams. But yeah, they definitely tested us a lot, and it was a good series. They pushed us.
For you, first full year in the league, what's this playoff grind been like? Obviously, it's physical. You're a big guy, and you guys are going on here. What's it been like? Were you prepared for it? Can you be honest with us, or has it maybe not been as bad as you thought?
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot. The 7-game series is different than the 5, and then, you know, a couple extra rounds other than U18. So it's been a grind, but it's been fun and it's been good. It's the best time of year, and the atmosphere, it's the best in Art Hauser, so it's amazing.
That's one thing I want to ask you. Like, I think we talked to you a few months ago, and you said, yeah, it's just a great place to play, right? The atmosphere. How has the city changed a bit? Maybe the atmosphere in the Hauser even ramped up a bit more here in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I think just you get a little more attention. You know, the further you go in playoffs, I mean, the better you are, the better team you are. I didn't think the atmosphere could get, you know, any better, and you know it did. The playoffs is a new level, and it's sold out every night, standing room only. So it's amazing.
Your line seems to be feeling it. What makes you guys buzz?
Yeah, I think we're a pretty skilled line. I think we move the puck pretty well. We like to play fast, but I think we know each other's strengths. I mean, Sarkanoff and Coots are both really fast, skilled players and really fun to play with, and I think we just gel well together.
You got mojo in your game right now. You seem to be playing with it.
Yeah, I mean, I like to play with a little bit of mojo for sure. You know, playing with confidence is always good, and playing with those guys, it helps a lot.
Everett, they've only lost one game this postseason. I'm sure you guys have watched tape. What are you seeing from them?
Yeah, I think we kind of see they're kind of like Medicine Hat a little bit. They got some really skilled offensive players that we got to keep an eye on, but I think we just got to stay sound to our structure, play hard defensively, and it'll be good. It'll be fun.
You guys played there November 11th, the Angel of the Winds Arena. It's actually a sick name. 4-1 win. Can you even go back to that game for like tendencies or for scouting, or was it just too long ago?
I mean, that was like kind of the start of the year, but it's tough. We know that they have a really good atmosphere as well. They got a really good rink, and they're super offensive. Got a really good team over there. So, yeah.
A lot is made, obviously, of Landon DuPont, but who else? Like, I think they got a couple of Euros on their team. Like they're pretty deep, from what I hear.
Yeah, obviously DuPont. He's a really good defenseman. They also got a guy like Carter Bear and Ben Haddon and Mietinen and those types of guys. So they're pretty, they're pretty skilled. Pretty skilled up front, and got a good back end. But yeah.
Is the goal, obviously the goal is to win both there, but try and come back with a split nonetheless?
Yeah, if we could get two games there, that'd be fantastic. But, if we split, I think that's, we take that as a win as well.
Yeah, drag them back to the Hauser. So you guys are flying commercial there. We just found out it's not the charter thing, but then you guys both teams are coming back on a charter back to probably Saskatoon where you're going to land. Have you thought about how weird that's going to be, being with the opponent on the plane?
Yeah, that's going to be pretty awkward. Like if one of the guys gets stuck, maybe in the same row as them. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be different for sure. But, yeah, it'll be fun.
For you, like, you win a national championship last year with the Pat Canadians. And then, all right, let's skip forward 12 months. Now you're in the Western Hockey League championship final with a chance to go to the Mem Cup. But the WHL championships, like, do you get it? How lucky you are?
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Definitely fortunate to be on two, amazing teams, and two teams with a bunch of great guys and just a really special group.
Speaking of that and special, I know you talked to him, I think it was yesterday. Ryan Ulmer is on his way to PEI National Championship with the Flon Bombers. What did you guys talk about? Again, it's a special. He's playing for two national championships in back-to-back years.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it. Kind of talked about last year at TELUS, and then him going to the Centennial this year with Flon. He said he's pretty excited, and like we were talking about, not many people get to do that. Like, it doesn't happen too often. So we're just talking about how we got to enjoy it and make the memories last.
Yeah, you know it, man. You got to take those little snippets. Like what people say when you look down the road when you get married, right? You want to take those pictures and store them. But what you guys are doing here is so crazy. You might say you haven't thought about it, but then I'm going to call you a liar. Are you kind of thinking about that NHL draft quite a bit, or just a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's been in the back of my head. Just not thinking about it too crazy, but. Yeah, just mainly focused on, the championship games coming up, and just playing my game and, playing for the team.
You've done a great job. I'm still a little bit mad at you that you left that aerial football playoff game when I was coaching you that one year for a bantam hockey tryout, but I'm starting to get over it, just so you know. Hey, man, go have a blast. This is so cool. I'm hoping to get up there for Game 3 and just check it all out. But, take in these memories, and hopefully it works out, and you guys are going to the national championship there.
Yeah, no, that'd be something. That would be awesome.
Thanks, Jonah. Have a good one, bud.
Yeah, thank you.
Jonah Sivertson joining us here from the Prince Albert Raiders. What a run for these kids from the Pat Canadians last year, going to the WHL championship, and then Ulmer to the national championship junior A side. It's really cool. Yeah, so that gets going in Everett, and then they bring it all back to PA for 3 games next week. It's going to be really cool. We're on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
He's gaining on us. Quick, let's hide in the garage.
No, it's stuck again.
You said you fixed it.
I meant to. I just never called Busy Bee Doors.
Lift it, hurry, lift it.
It won't budge. It's busted.
Don't let a broken garage door turn into a horror story. Call Busy Bee Doors. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door. Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
Hey, Clyde, where are you getting your diesel parts from?
Well, the dealer, of course.
Are you nuts? Smoke'em Diesel can save you a ton of cash.
Smoke'em Diesel can supply you with turbos, injectors, injection pumps, anything diesel related. They don't sell junk. Construction, agriculture semi, pickup truck, and all European diesel. Find them on Facebook or call 306-545-5911 for all your diesel needs.
It's late, the day's done, but you still need that part for your AGCO equipment. Good news, Nick Service now brings the parts department to your fingertips. With their new e-commerce site, online parts platform, you can search fast, check in-stock items anytime, and see accurate pricing in seconds. No waiting, no guessing, just simple, reliable AGCO parts ordering when you need it. Easy, fast, stress-free. Nick Service puts the parts counter in your pocket. Order anytime at nickservice.com.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Jasmine Brown, a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Regina. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Don't miss the biggest Trex composite decking sale at Freeze Tallman. From May 4th to 16th, save 15% off in stock Trex composite decking. Perfect for your home or cottage. Even our friend Mr. Bunny knows Trex aren't just for kids. He tried hopping on the old wood deck? Well, he's sticking to Trex now. Freeze Tallman will deliver to your house or cottage. Visit freezetallman.com and hop on this sale before it's gone. Freeze Tallman. Locally owned, family grown, rooted in our community for 70 years.
It's time for the Sports Ticker. Brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sport is the home of the price match guarantee. 1425 McIntyre Street, the Cooperator Center, Moose Jaw Temple Garden Center, and online at extremehockey.net.
Only one game in the National Hockey League tonight. 6 o'clock puck drop. Colorado leading 1-0. Minnesota trying to even up that series. NHL Draft Lottery goes at 5 p.m. Vancouver, best odds, 25.5 to get the first pick. And Major League Hardball right now, Blue Jays are up 1-0 on the Tampa Bay Rays in the top of the second. It's for the local shop, more than just hockey, lacrosse, fastball, baseball, Extreme Hockey and Sport, 3 locations, McIntyre Street, the Cooperator Center, and now in Moose Jaw, Temple Garden Center under new management. They support local. They are local, Extreme Hockey and Sport. Okay, first one of the year. Let's go out on the line and talk to Brian Raymond, Flowing Springs Golf Course. Brian, how are you doing? How are things looking out there?
Things are looking great, Barney. It's good to be back on the sports cage. The golf course isn't quite open yet. It's just about ready. We'll be actually opening the golf course this Friday at 10 o'clock. But in the meantime, we have this fantastic driving range, and I can't stress enough, folks, if you're going to go out and play golf, do yourself a favor. Do a little bit of practicing, get a little bit of swinging going on before you head out to the golf course so you don't hurt yourself.
And, Brian, they're like the best thing, no mats.
Exactly. All grass tees. And we have, you know what, Barney, we constantly get people asking if we've got room for them. We have to make an appointment to use the driving range. We have room for 50 or 60 people in our driving range, so it's huge. And we got target greens, and we even have a chipping green up there. It's a great place to come and practice and work on your game. For sure. No, it probably is the best range in the area by a long shot. All right, so like you said, people want to come out. They can show up. You can fit them in. But then when the course opens,
When can people start making tee times, and how do they get a hold of you?
They can start making tee times right now by giving us a call at 543-5050, and you can book online at flowingspringsgolf.com.
Okay, and on Thursday, we'll start going through some of the specials and what you got cooked up out there as well.
Sounds good, Barney.
Good to chat with you, Brian. Have a good one.
You too. Take care.
Flowing Springs Golf Course. It is a really good driving range. Just outside Regina. Go grab a pint, head to the range, and do that thing. Okay, that's it. We're up against the clock. Hour 3, we're coming back. CFL talk with Glen Suitor. It's the Sports Cage for Saskatchewan Lotteries.
We are 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station.
The news is brought to you by Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, home of Saskatchewan's biggest selection of Ram trucks and Jeeps. CrestviewChrysler.ca.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. Mostly cloudy and 7 degrees in Regina. I'm Denis Conroy from the SAS Today newsroom with 620 CKRM News. New rules in Saskatchewan will require carbon monoxide alarms in every residential unit, expanding existing safety measures under Henry's Law. The changes follow the death of Henry Losco and aim to protect residents from dangerous gas exposure. Officials say the update strengthens existing safety regulations. The Losco family supports the move, while Rental Housing Saskatchewan says it will work with landlords to meet the new requirements. Saskatchewan is asking residents for input on possible limits to social media use for children under 16. The province is mailing postcards to households asking whether access should be banned, require parental consent, or remain up to families. Mental Health Minister Lori Carr says the survey responds to concerns about youth well-being. Premier Scott Moe says feedback will help guide discussions with the federal government.
We will embark on this consultation space, so this consultation process, and we really do ask parents to participate in it because it is going to determine our provincial position, and it is going to determine that position as we converse with the federal government on the potential for a national ban.
Replies are due by June 30th of this year. A call to block out-of-province farmland purchases is coming from opposition finance critic Trent Witherspoon. He says the Saskatchewan Party government admitted in committee it has allowed large investment funds to buy farmland. Witherspoon raises concerns about an Alberta-based trust acquiring over 80,000 acres. He says this limits opportunities for young and family farmers. Witherspoon is asking for full disclosure, stronger enforcement of ownership rules, and action to keep farmland in the hands of local producers across the province in the future for Saskatchewan communities. The rapid melt of snow caused flooding on a farm in the Quill Lake area. Dean Sawchuk says the yard and the house are flooded, but managed to move their cattle to a nearby pasture.
We got some of the cattle out of from behind the yard. We got across the road to some pasture, so they got some drier ground to go to. We do have a few animals still in the yard, in the corral, that we can't seem to get at because of all the water. We've just been feeding them some square bales in the meantime here to keep them going, hoping the water will recede enough that we can get them out of there.
He estimates 2.5 feet of water are in the yard. A celebration of global culture is on the way as Regina marked Mosaic 2026 with its annual medallion ceremony on Sunday afternoon. The 3-day festival from June 4th to the 6th will feature 19 multicultural pavilions. Mosaic Chair Terry Zwarek says the event brings people together through shared experiences. At the weekend ceremony, ambassadors were recognized while guests sampled international cuisine. Regina Multicultural Council President John Findura says the festival is built on togetherness, respect, and community pride. That's 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sastoday.ca and 620CKRM.com. Weather's next.
It's Truck Month at Crestview, and yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Right now, our lot is stacked with trucks. The Hemi is back. Check out a 2026 Ram and get savings up to $20,000, or finance it for as low as 0% OAC, or get a clear-out price on a brand new 25 Jeep Grand Cherokee. We only got a few left, and they come with savings up to $15,000 or 0% financing OAC. This is your last chance at Truck Month, ending soon at Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Weather for next-gen coatings, spray coatings for truck bed liners, rocker panels, and more. Same company, new name, 1865 McCarra Street, Regina. And Kevin's Marine. Make the most of summer with a boat or pontoon from Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel. kevinsmarine.com.
Mainly clear to partly cloudy for tonight. A little bit of a breeze early on in the evening. That will diminish 10 to 20 most of the night. Pretty gentle and mainly clear. Temperature dropping off to around -6. Quieter weather as far as the winds go the next few days, and temperatures slowly warm too. We'll be up to around 10 on Wednesday. Mostly sunny sky, clear, light wind Wednesday night -2, and then 15 with a partly to mostly sunny sky on Thursday. Nice area of high pressure building in across much of the western United States and western Canada. It'll expand northward, retreating a little bit after peaking on Friday. Temperature at 19, a couple of isolated showers come in as that big ridge sags southward a bit, staying close to the border and then lifting right back in for Sunday into Monday. Temperatures on the cooler side, 12 degrees, still not bad. And then as the front lifts back northward and the warm air builds back in, we'll see temperature climbing through the upper teens to around even just above 20 with sunshine Sunday and Monday. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
For over 40 years, you've known them as Regina's trusted vehicle protection specialists. Now they're introducing the next gen of coatings. New name, new level of protection. They're now next gen coatings. 3 generations of their family have served your family, and that hasn't changed. Same owners, same commitment, ready for the next gen of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards. The company hasn't changed, just the name. Next Gen Coatings, 1865 McCarra Street. The next gen starts now.
This is the year to own the boat of your dreams. At Kevin's Marine, discover legendary Lund boats, built for a lifetime of serious fishing and family fun. Stretch out and relax, or enjoy the day with family on a brand new pontoon from Bentley or Crest, or make a splash in a 4-wind sport boat, all powered by trusted Mercury 4-stroke motors. Right now, get manufacturer rebates, dealer discounts, and low payment financing. Make decking easy with Shoremaster aluminum docks and lifts. Visit Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel or kevinsmarine.com.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back, Hour 3, Sports Cage, on this Tuesday for Saskatchewan Lotteries. Been a fun show. Lots of hockey talk. Good engagement from you out there on the Prairie Land Rentals text line as well. We had someone call in Prairie Land Rentals that was listening to the show about the lawnmower sale. Robotic lawnmowers. Lawnmowers that cut your grass. You don't have to do anything. What else do you need? There you go. There's like $1,000 off on them right now. They also got 0 turns and push mowers. 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owner. It's who you call, usually. And he picks up the phone. Lots of McDavid people out there. Some are sad. Kind of got them thinking now, what about next year? And all that. Toronto fans. Montreal fans ripping on Toronto fans. A lot of good stuff on the text line today. If you missed any of the show, of course, go listen to it in the podcast forum for Freeze Tallman Lumber as well. Anywhere you listen to podcasts. PumpJacks Cathedral. Patio's open. Like, today's not patio day, but patio's open. Awesome place to go. Lots of taps, good food. We're going to have PumpJacks Cathedral trivia after Glen Suitor. So bottom of the hour, if you want to win $50 to PumpJacks Cathedral, you're going to have to call in 936-6262. The question is based on NHL players. Think local. That's it. That's the tease. It's kind of a crappy tease, but that's your tease. After Suits, we'll do that. Also talk more on the NHL, and I'll read some more of your text messages. But let's go out and talk to Glen Suitor.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Glen Suitor on the Sportscage. Brought to you by Freeze Tallman Lumber. Locally owned, family grown, rooted in our community for 70 years in Regina and Fort Capel.
You know that Freeze Tallman's got that Trex decking sale on this week. You wanted to take some of it back to Vancouver in your duffel bag.
Yes, I do. But I did get so much good advice from John and the group in there. Like, first of all, that the decking has evolved. And I had a little experience with that decking before, and it's fantastic because it weathers so well. But the only issue I had with it, and I talked to John about it at Freeze Tallman, and he said they've evolved it from there because the issue was it got really, really hot in the sun. And so hot that you have to kind of spray it down to keep it cool. But it's evolved in the last couple of years, and now they've taken care of that issue by putting something in there. I don't know what it was, but they've fixed that issue. So now it weathers. Like, you'll have this deck forever. You'll have it for as long as you know.
And 15% off right now if you're cabin, house, would they deliver? Fort Capel, Regina, the good team at Freeze Tallman. I'm wondering, did you talk to Paul LaPolice about the flag football camp that was in Winnipeg? Did you do any reporting for us, and what can you report back?
Well, I'm getting excited is what I can report. That's the headline. Like, get excited about this flag football team and what we may see in the Olympics. I don't want to get ahead of myself, and they got to qualify first, as you have said a few times, Barney. But really good conversation with Coach LaPolice yesterday on the phone. He said, first of all, the Winnipeg facility was excellent. A lot of these guys, some of them have a little bit of pro background in them that were invited to this camp. Some of them don't. A lot of them don't. So to go in the stadium and be practicing on the field, right there in Winnipeg, and professional stadium, professional locker rooms, it was pretty cool for all of those guys. But the on-field report is where the encouraging part really is that he was talking about how advanced they are from where they were this time last year to now. And remember, the U.S. national team has lost one game in their last 54 or 53 games, and that was against Canada. So when I hear LaPolice say, he didn't bring up that matchup, but he did say that we are way ahead of where we were last year. He said we got into camp and we were doing situational football. Like, we're talking about, you have a bit of a lead and you want to kill time and extend, try to kill the clock. If you are behind and you need to get into hurry up, specific football situations. And for flag, as you know, we're talking about the two quarterback systems, the little underneath handoffs that, we saw in that exhibition. And, a lot of the nuance of the game, they were way ahead of. Really excited about the talent he has. Feels like, sprinkling in a few other athletes that, might join later for the Olympics is going to be really exciting. But he is really confident and excited about his football team right now. And they are way ahead of where they were.
Chances that you go to Germany?
Well, I'm really working on it. There's a few dominoes that really need to fall personally, Barney. Like, the CFL TSN contract needs to be nailed down.
Yeah, true.
Then I go in and talk about a little bit of a contract deal, and then because I can't, we're not doing that until the other one's done. And then it's a big push. I've already talked to the producers about it, but it's a big push to try and have a bigger part of the flag football coverage and how we're going to do that and the build up to the Olympics.
Maybe you could pitch them to do it just on the stream to start. Push it to some sort of TSN stream, and then Obviously, I'm trying to figure out a way that I'm going to get there too. But we get it on some sort of stream, and we go from there. No, it's pretty exciting, and I'm really looking forward to how that all plays out. And then we maybe can regroup. Maybe have a little group chat with Lapo again tomorrow. Rough Rider rookie camp, and camps start all around the league, but rookie camp starts up in Saskatoon at 8:30 sharp at Griffith Stadium till 11:55. Rookie camp suits. Important, not so important. Where do you stand? What can you tell us? How do you feel about the rookie camps?
Yeah, crucial for these guys. Yeah, absolutely crucial, because you know, when you get into main camp and the veterans come back, your reps in practice go from all practice to a handful if you're a rookie. And, you know, we talk often about, you know, the talent and making that big play in practice, the big interception, the big catch, the one-hander in the end zone, those kind of things. Obviously, that's important. And, you know, coaches want to see that you can make those big plays. But let's be honest, I think athletically, if you're in training camp, you're a good football player. You're a great football player. So you've had a good college career, either in Canada or the United States, and you are a very good athlete, a very good player. And now I think what's most important for these rookies is not necessarily that big play they make. That's cool, but not necessarily that. I mean, coaches go into these rookie camps saying, which one of these guys can I trust? They don't look at, say, which one of these guys can make a one-handed catch, because they know all of them can. What they're looking for is which guys are the professionals, which guys, when we throw the playbook at them, which one of them are going to look at it and go, oh boy, I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rely on my athletic ability and just catch up. Or which guys are going to get in there in the huddle in an 8-on-8 drill or whatever drill it is and not know what their responsibilities are. That's what the coaches, that'll get you cut faster than if you're not making that big play. It's crucial for these rookies to go in there and show the coaches that they can be trusted, that when they ask to do an assignment, they're going to make mistakes athletically, no question, but are they trusted to know what their responsibilities are? Because if you don't know that, and that's why when we talk to college kids, we always talk about the education first. Because if you're good in the classroom, you're going to be better on the field for it, because you're going to learn the playbook. You're going to do it for the right reasons, not just for you selfishly to make the team, but also because when those guys in the huddle look at you, you better know what you're doing, because they do. And you have so much time in rookie camp, Barney, to really establish to the coaches that you can be trusted. And I think that's where this is crucial for them, because they're in for an entire series of plays. They might do a drill where they go up and down the field offensively in a hurry up drill. And how many busts in the coverage will happen on defense? Because if you have two busts in one drill, that might be it. You might be getting a plane ticket.
Let's regroup back to rookie camp in a second here. We got some breaking news, Suits. Okay. We got some breaking news. The NFL draft lottery, NHL draft lottery just went down. First pick. With all the turmoil in hockey in the last 24 hours, guess who got the first pick?
No. I don't even want to guess. Who got it?
Toronto.
So they're trading Austin Matthews now for sure. Is that what you're saying?
Toronto had an 8.5% chance of getting the first pick. So they're going to get to draft either Stenberg or McKenna. That whole debacle yesterday, Keith Pelly, you know him, don't you?
Yes. He was one of my bosses years ago when I was first starting in TV. And was a guy who, I'll tell you a quick story about Keith. Walked into the first meeting when he had taken over for the executive producer before him. He walks into that first meeting. He was actually returning to TSN from another assignment, I think in the States. And he comes back. He might have been with Fox, actually. He comes back in that first meeting in the CFL on TSN coverage, and he says that this product we are spending a lot of money on and bringing in people that we trust to handle it properly, and we will respect it like we respect any product that we cover. NHL, NFL, doesn't matter. And I was real excited to hear that from Keith Pelly when I sat down in that meeting. I know he's under the gun now. I saw the interview. I thought, but Barney, it goes to the bigger picture. We saw it on the golf course. We saw it. We're seeing it with athletes. We're seeing it with a lot of coaches. You just before this segment, you were talking about the coach that was, just answering with the same line.
The Barry Colts. Yeah, I guess he did apologize today. He realized he was an absolute pigeon for doing that.
Well, I look at it from a big picture, and I don't want to get political, but I look at it from a big picture, and I think our political leaders are in both the U.S. and Canada are really becoming that, where instead of answering the questions or pivoting when the media is in front of you, they are now sort of lashing out and insulting the person asking the question. And it becomes this real hostile environment. And again, whether it's an athlete or a coach or politician or whatever, your position requires you to answer to the crowd, answer to your fans, answer to the community if it's a politician. So if you don't like the question, pivot. Be professional and pivot, but don't insult the guy asking the question. That it just seems like when the leaders do it, it gives permission to everyone else to do it. And it's a bad trend.
Yeah, there was the poor guy that asked the first question was, I think, the junior hockey team's media guy. And then he's kind of like taken aback, like, it doesn't matter, work harder, or whatever the comment was. And then so he's like, okay. Then he asks the kid.
No one cares, work harder.
No one cares, work harder. Then he asks the player, and the player does the same thing. I was just like, oh, this is so tacky. But yeah, Toronto has won the first overall pick for this summer's NHL draft. Okay, let's get back to football and rookie camp. Got a text message in here. Someone's actually really excited to head up. They must be from around Saskatoon and go watch camp, which starts tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. The other thing that I was thinking about rookie camp, now I don't know, this may be a good question for Luke Mullender, but there's got to be some guys, probably played some college ball down south, that walk in like Ric Flair or Ravishing Rick Rude with that swagger, and then they're like, oh boy, this is a lot better than I thought.
Oh yeah. There's two things that happened really quickly with a lot of the U.S. guys that I found back in the day, and I'm sure it's the same now, is the first one is exactly that. They walk in thinking, I am going to dominate. And then they look really quickly, like it only takes a practice. And they go, oh, wow, okay, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. This is pros. This is, great football players. The other one is, they walk in and they think, hey, everyone tells me it's cold up here. This is nothing. And I go, well, just wait till Labor Day and you get on that turn because it's going to drop. The temperature drops quickly here when you get past Labor Day. So, get used to it. And I that's the other thing about rookie camp. Rookie camp for Americans is crucial in a slightly different way. First of all, they have to be trusted to know their assignments for sure. But also, for them, it's about can they make the transition to the different nuance in our game? Like, can they look at the wider field and understand the angles are different if you're a DB, and your angles and your protection of the sideline in a press coverage situation for a corner, for instance, that's gone now. The field is too wide, so you can't rely on the sideline as another defender for you when you're in press coverage. And I think they have to make that transition, the yard off the ball for the O&D line. And sometimes there's not much contact in these camps, so that's a tricky one for them to understand how they can use that to their advantage. And they only have, when they're in rookie camp, they have way more reps than when they get to vet camp. Because vet camp, they're only going to get a handful every practice.
Well, and I almost feel, I personally feel too, it's like you got to show up, because the other thing you never know is weather. Like if you're a receiver and it's like, okay, well, day one wasn't that good. Then all of a sudden, day 2, day 3, day 4, you got nothing but wind and rain. And you're going, man, the only tape they got on me from day 1 was when I was kind of half asleep, thinking I would be able to get a redo or a little bit of a breakfast ball. And now I'm playing in a hurricane or snow or rain.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because that's the other thing I think that players don't understand enough that coaches are looking for, which is how they react to those things. So you're bang on. If all of a sudden a player looks really good, for instance, let's say a receiver is looking sweet in his first 2 practices in perfect weather with no wind, and then it's raining the next day in the rain and he just completely shuts down. And people will say, well, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen at the pro level, does it? Yeah, because everyone's still human, and sometimes people have played in climates that they didn't get those big wind and rain days as often, so they're not used to it, and then they have to, perform at the same level, be mentally focused at the same level as they were on the sunny day. And coaches are looking, how do you handle it? If you have a bad day, are you coming back to the coach with excuses? Or are you coming back like you get beat as a DB in a one-on-one? Are you grabbing your hamstring but actually good to practice the next day? Because if you grab your hamstring in a one-on-one, you're faking it most of the time because you got beat. Okay? So the coaches have seen right through that, especially if you go, you know what, I'm good. I can go in the next drill.
Yeah. Arash asked this in hour 2. I thought I'd throw it out to you.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be a Joe. Arash went with McLeod, Bethel, Thompson. I wonder, a player that's not on a roster currently, who we are talking about in a few months down the road here, and is an impact player on a CFL team. I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot on that one, maybe a little bit, Suits.
Well, no, but I'm trying to think of anyone that would be more valuable than McLeod, because I don't think there would be one. And the reason I say it is based on the position.
Quarterback, yeah.
And also that he has had a whole bunch of different coordinators in his time in the CFL. So I don't think there's really anything you could throw at McLeod, Bethel, Thompson that he wouldn't say, yeah, I get the concept. I understand it. And be ready to sort of plug and play if you lose 2 guys, for instance, in week 2 or 3 or something. So yeah, I'm trying to think of a guy that would be more valuable and a guy that's not in a camp. There might be a kicker or 2 that is sort of on the outside looking in that might be a good pickup. I'm trying to think of.
It's tough. We can regroup on Thursday. Maybe you'll think about it, and then watch Thursday. You'll come at me with like 10 guys. I'll put together
a list. I'll put together a list for you. Yeah, for sure.
While you're looking for your Trex decking from Freeze Tallman Lumber. Okay, this too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this, but I've been wanting to talk about it. And I didn't watch it, but I watched the rerun. I was actually coaching flag football. But the Kentucky Derby went on the weekend. I don't know if you had a chance to watch. It was Golden Tempo, 23-1 odds that won. Now, here's the thing that's fascinating. Ran it in 2 minutes, 2 seconds, and 27. So 2:02. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The fastest ever Kentucky Derby. Do you know any who ran that? What's that? Secretariat won under 1:59:40, 1973. So isn't it wild with horse racing that we just saw the gentleman run the London Marathon in under 2 hours?
Yeah.
Was it under 2?
Yeah, under 2. And the guy in second was also under 2.
Yeah, and then we're seeing Usain Bolt do crazy things sprinting, and we've seen sprinters, and we've seen swimmers, Michael Phelps, Summer McIntosh. But when it comes to horse racing, the fastest time is still from 1973.
So the horses have plateaued. their development has plateaued. And I'm glad you brought up mankind has not plateaued, and we are still evolving and learning more and more about nutrition and training and different techniques and stretching and muscle development and all of the things that and mental coaching to work on that side of it, which was always just be a tough guy kind of thing, and now it's completely different. So thank goodness we're evolving somewhere, because when I watch the news, Barney, it looks like we're not doing so well. Mankind is going the wrong direction in a lot of ways.
I want to see if Golden Tempo is going to go. Maybe it's been released. If they're going to go for the Triple Crown with the Preakness coming up and Belmont, but a lot of times they don't run them all anymore. So I know 13 horses have done that. Justify was the last one in 2018. So I spent a lot of time at the horse track as a kid. It's a little known fact. My dad, my dad would spring. My dad had a couple of race ponies back in the day. Cloverdale, BC was one of the tracks that his horses ran at out there. I remember going out there from time to time. Calgary, Winnipeg, Queensbury here. Not so much Marquess Downs in Saskatoon, even though we were from there. But I think the purses just didn't work. But there's standard bred and thoroughbred. So thoroughbred, they're on the horse, Kentucky Derby style. And then there's standard bred, where they're in the little carts, right? And my dad had a lot of standard bred horses. And I just used to love that. I thought, those guys in the carts, like, what a great time. And then you get older and you go to the track and you really see how fast these things. I think we went to Turf Paradise in Phoenix a few years ago. And I'm like, oh boy, these things are fast. That's not a healthy way that's not a good job.
Well, buddy, when I went to the Calgary Stampede, and I've gone a couple of times, I mean, a bit of a party, by the way, in case you wonder.
I went on a pub crawl once. Remember like 2 things.
But I went to watch a lot of the events, and the chuck wagons.
Oh yeah.
Incredible. And the women on the barrel racing.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, the speed and the way that they take those corners, I just thought, yikes! Traction. Hang on.
And then as I get older, and when I go to Vegas, I sit in the sports book. I love it. Kind of memory or represent my dad, who's been gone for now 15 years. And I say, I'm going to play the ponies for Smokey, my dad's nickname. And then I sit and I watch the standard breds, and there's that truck that the things come out and then the truck starts driving, right? Because thoroughbreds, they start in the chute and then they go. But standard bred, and I'm like, when I retire, that could be a job I want. Driving that truck. Probably the first time you've ever heard anyone have aspirations in their retirement to drive the standard bred truck.
I've asked a lot of kids and a lot of people what their life goals are. I've never heard that one. and there's been a lot of bucket lists that I've seen that never had ride the standard truck.
Maybe you'll be able to do it. Just
said drive a Zamboni at a hockey game in the ice, but not drive the truck. What is the major difference between the two categories?
Well, you're in the kind of the cart for the standard breds, and then the thoroughbreds, you're on top of the horse.
Oh, I see. Oh, you're talking about the cart race versus the... Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So
it was different with the horses as well.
Yeah, there we go. So anytime you watch standard bred horse racing, you can be like, I know a guy that's what he wants to do when he retires is drive that truck.
That's a good way. That's the way they should start off rookie camp. Forget about 40-yard dashes. Just have the standard truck, have all the players in behind that.
There
they
you
start
go.
driving and then go.
There you go. All right. We got PumpJacks Cathedral trivia coming up, so people can start calling now, 936-6262, if they want to win $50 from PumpJacks Cathedral. And then you and I, Glenn, we talk again on Thursday for the good folks at Freeze Tallman Lumber.
And I will have a list for you.
Okay. There we go. Press coverage with Glen Suitor for Freeze Tallman in Fort Capel and Regina right now. This week, it's the Trex decking sale, 15% off. So if you're ever going to buy composite decking, like Glenn said, it's come a long way. It's evolved like standard bred horse racing. Freeze Tallman, they deliver as well in Regina and Fort Capel. Draft lottery is in. Oh, there's some teams that the fix is in. Yeah, they're saying the fix is in. We'll recap there. And then, like I said, 936-6262. When we come back, PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia, call now. The question based around Saski players in the NHL. We'll be right back.
Spring's finally here.
Spring in Regina? I'll believe it when I'm sitting on a patio.
Then let's get to PumpJacks. Patio's open.
Open now?
Yep, Sunday brunch, daily food, and drink specials.
Hold on, brunch and a patio?
And weekly live entertainment.
All right, that's not spring, that's a lifestyle.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, PumpJacks Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
If you're thinking about a landscape project but not quite sure where to start, hi, I'm Sean from the Rusty Shovel Landscape Shop. That's why we built this place. We help you make the right calls, from choosing materials to understanding how it goes together, so your project turns out the way you want. Whether it's paving stones, retaining walls, or irrigation, our team will help you get it right the first time. Stop by our showroom on the East Vic Service Road, or visit therustyshovel.ca. Great projects start at the shovel. The Rusty Shovel Landscape Shop.
When you play Sports Select, you're part of more than the game. You're backing over 12,000 sport, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan funded through Sask Lotteries. So go ahead, make your picks at sportselect.com, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer. Every play is 100% legal, and every ticket supports your community. Sports Select. When you're ready to play, bet on the original. Must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly.
It's time for Sportscage Trivia for PumpJacks. Great food, cold local draft, and a place that feels like home.
It is, and the deck is open. Maybe not deck date today, but PumpJacks Cathedral, 13th in Albert. I'm telling you, best chicken fingers in the West. Kerwin's Crispy Ribs, pints. Great place to go. Live music on the weekends. Kids are allowed until 8. All right. We got Terrence on the line playing PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia at 936-6262. The question for you, Terrence, today is, name me one Saskatchewan-born player who is currently on an NHL roster of one of the remaining playoff teams.
Jordan Everly.
Oh, great guess. I knew I put you on the spot, but unfortunately, Terrence, he is no longer in the playoffs. But yeah, good guess. You win a free lunch anyway. Colson's going to take down your information. So that means next week, PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia, we are playing for $100 to PumpJacks Cathedral. I'll be there Thursday night, chowing down on those chicken fingers that I swear by. All right. Let's go to break, and then we come back with ticker. You want to stay here, Colson? Because, okay, NHL Draft Lottery. I know some of you are driving or sitting in a parking lot or whatever, probably looking on your phones anyway. Text messages to the Prairie Land Rentals text line. It's rigged. It's fixed. What does Dean say here, one of the regulars? Well, Toronto and Edmonton just rely on dumb luck to build a team, and then they screw it up. Toronto did get the first pick today. Draft lottery. So is it Gavin McKenna? Maybe it's Stenberg, Kevin, on the text line. It's got to be McKenna, though. So now, what is Austin Matthews thinking? Oh, wow. Toronto gets it. Okay, do you have the list of all the picks? Because is number 2, the 2 is the San Jose Sharks?
Yeah, because they pick 2 lottery ball winners, right? So the Leafs win, go up to number 1, and they pick a second team to win, which was the Sharks, who go up to number 2. Then it just falls in order. So Vancouver would have number 3. After that, I am not as sure. I'm trying to find somebody that has a draft board up here, and nobody has them up. They're just all, Toronto got the first pick. And I'm like, thanks, I need more than that.
I know 3rd is the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah.
I think 6 was Calgary. Poor Flames. Eric Francis is back tomorrow from Ireland. Eric Francis is going to be with us, our NHL insider. Somebody just said they almost puked on their carpet with the first pick.
We feel that.
Your text messages. Prairie Land Rentals text line, 600 Albert Street. You get the deal with the owner. Yeah. Great show, guys. What a clown show. Toronto. Rigged. Jeffrey on the YouTube chat saying, yeah, that is correct. The Flames have never had a top 3 pick.
Murky middle.
Kind of mushy middle.
Mushy middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or murky. That sounds just as good. Jeez. Toronto, San Jose, Vancouver. Meh.
Because that's what San Jose needs is a number 2 pick. Because they're not good already.
That's cool. Yeah, how many? Okay, here we go. Here it is. I found it. Toronto, San Jose, Vancouver, Chicago, the New York Rangers, Calgary Flames, 6, Seattle Kraken, Jordan Eberle's boys, number 7. Oh, the poor Winnipeg Jets. They had a 6.5% chance of getting the first pick. They are picking 8.
Ooh.
Followed by the 2-time Stanley Cup champ Florida Panthers, and the Nashville Predators, St. Louis Blues, New Jersey Devils, New York Islanders, Columbus Blue Jackets, St. Louis, Washington. Those are the 16 picks. Calgary fans, come on, eh? Vancouver, 3. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I don't know enough about the draft besides McKenna and Stenberg. Roscoe. Eric won't be sober enough tomorrow to do an interview. We'll find out. We'll definitely find out. Benny, with Sundin involved, there's no way they don't draft a Swede. Oh, Benny, good point.
Well, then they're taking Stenberg. Place your bets.
Oh, ooh. Let's get Sprinkle of the Day going here right away, actually. Antoine and Regina, this is almost as fishy as the Mavericks getting last year's number 1 NBA pick. As a Jets fan, can't catch a damn break. I feel you, Antoine. I was hoping for the Jets there. When you said Mavericks, too, I started thinking of the 90s country band. Dan says, I couldn't be happier. It's the best thing the Leafs have done this year.
It's not a high bar, but yeah, you're right.
Jeez. Sprinkle of the Day, Sports Select. Make your picks. Game starts at 6. Puck drop. They're warming up right now. Bucky or no Bucky? The first thing you got to look at, there was 15 goals scored in this last game. The over-under. Minnesota, Colorado. Sports Select's got it set at 6. Is this a sucker bet? Benny, you're listening. Are we chasing the over here? at 6. They both pay $180. The pro line, Minnesota is a 3. A tie to go to overtime's $370. Colorado's $175. I don't know. I'm gonna hit the over. I probably hit the over on this tonight. Do you know what's going on in basketball? All I know is the New York Knicks have just found like some sort of booster, like when you're playing the old video games back in the day, booster life or whatever. Like they are just smashing teams now.
Yeah, well, they've been a dominant squad all year, so that's not too surprising. The Knicks, the Knicks are a very good team, even though they're just the 3 seed. But they're going up against the number 7 76ers. They'll probably take that series. I don't think it'll be a sweep, but they'll probably take it.
I'm looking futures, sportselect.com, because you can bet on futures, and I don't see a first overall pick in the National Hockey League draft. Now they're probably off the board, too, and resetting it.
Yeah, they're resetting the draft lottery. I saw that. I don't think they have the first overall pick yet. IIHF Men's World Hockey Championships, though, May 15th to 31st in Switzerland. It's on my bucket list, and I turn 50 next year. So instead of a golf trip, I'm thinking of going to the World Hockey Championships. There you go.
Guess where they are?
Sweden again.
No, close. I want to go to this country. Never been there. Lots of beer drank there.
Germany.
There
you go.
Luxembourg. Canada's the favorite to win the World Ice Hockey Championships at 260, followed by the USA. There's got to be value on some of these. Canada doesn't win anything.
Yeah. What was the hockey tournament that just wrapped up that Canada got?
U18. Sweden won.
Yeah, but I saw Latvia beat the USA for bronze.
Oh, wow.
And that's their first medal in that tournament. So
nice.
The Latvians coming in strong.
USA's 5, Finland 5.5, Switzerland 550, Sweden 675. They must be not sending a strong team. So yeah, sportselect.com, make your picks online, generate a QR code, scan it at your Lotto Spot retailer, and that's how you can get it done now. Every bet is 100% legal. Must be 18 plus to play. Play responsibly. Chance of winning cash in hand with the original. Break time? Yeah. Okay, we'll go to break. It is 4 Saskatchewan lotteries on this Tuesday. If you missed any of it, the draft lottery, we're coming back with the ticker. Stay tuned.
Out here in southern Saskatchewan, the sun shows up for work every day. Might as well make it earn its keep. That's where Keln Solar comes in. These folks travel all over the province helping people put solar on their homes, farms, and cabins. They're local guys, Sask-born, Sask-raised, and not going anywhere. Except, to your place. Now's the time to start planning for spring and summer 2026 bookings. Give Keln Solar a call and they'll come show you your best options. Keln Solar. They move the power so you don't have to. KelnSolar.com.
In sports, everybody loves debating the Mount Rushmore of all-time greats. So what about the Mount Rushmore of flooring? Hardwood, laminate, carpet, tile. Hey, let's not forget vinyl and linoleum. No matter what flooring you need, the experienced local team at Flooring Superstore can help you find the right fit for your home and on budget. Whether you're doing a quick cash and carry project or you want professional install, they'll set it all up for you. Flooring Superstore, over 20 years in business, FloringSuperstoreRegina.ca.
Got a landscape project in mind this year, but not sure how to bring it together? Hi, I'm Sean from the Rusty Shovel Landscape Shop. This is where projects get stuck, not knowing what to do first. That's what our project consult is for. We'll come out, walk the space with you, and help you build a clear plan. Whether you're doing it yourself or need a contractor, we'll point you in the right direction. Book your project consult today at therustyshovel.ca/consult. Great projects start at the shovel. The Rusty Shovel Landscape Shop. 2 green thumbs up.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. Powered by Prairie Land Rentals. From power tools to skid steers, they probably have what you need for your job. 600 Albert Street, where you deal with the owner. It's time for the Sports Ticker. Brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina. Made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
If you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, you're extremely happy If you're a Calgary Flames fan or Winnipeg Jets fan, not so much. Vancouver, you're kind of in the middle. NHL draft lottery happened moments ago. Toronto, the first overall pick. Second, going to the San Jose Sharks. Third, the Vancouver Canucks. Fourth, Chicago Blackhawks. New York Rangers, 5. Calgary Flames, 6. Winnipeg Jets will pick 8th. NHL tonight, playoffs, 1 game. Minnesota, Colorado, 6 p.m. puck drop. Colorado leads that series 1-0. Toronto Blue Jays are on the ball diamond right now. End of the 4th inning. They are tied with the Tampa Bay Rays. 2-2. Sports ticker is for Regina Steelcraft Doors. It's made in Western Canada for Western Canada. Steelcraft Doors. Somebody texted in. I missed this. Hold on before I get to that. We got a few players now in Sprinkle of the Day. This is what I like. This is what I like from the Sportscage listeners. Under all day, Barney, Central Division Hockey. In the last game, there was 15 goals. So let's... Okay, Antoine? 15 last. He says, give me a 3-2 overtime game. Well, then run to your Lotto Spot retailer right now. Don't walk. Run. And hit that tie. The Pro Line tie is 370. If you're confident, Antoine, I don't mind that bet. Little overtime action. Benny, the Rochdale Rocket. Barney, I went under. Went under on the PWHL 2. Easy money. Had Philly plus 1.5 and Vegas point spread yesterday, Benny. Nice parlay, Benny. I've been drilling on my online app points, parlay points. And I talked about this on the Monday Nooner podcast last night. I looked at my looked at the bank and I was like, whoa, I've hit a few good ones here. Playing 2, and last night though Vegas didn't come through. I've been doing a lot of Barbashev Eichel combo or Dorofeyev Eichel, little Stone in there as well. I should have hit Marner last night. I got greedy though. I went with 3 guys last night. That's on me. That's me. Jeffrey says first 5 picks are all impressive. Oh, in the draft, are they? Okay. I trust you, Jeffrey in Sand Lake, because I have no idea. I think it's pretty clear we're headed for a Carolina-Colorado Stanley Cup final. And it's too early to tell. I think that's the odds-on favorite. Too early to tell for me.
Keaton Verhoff ranked 4th overall in North American skaters.
Yeah.
So
North American skaters, though.
Yeah, European skaters is where you've got Ivar Stenberg from, and then Albert Smits from Latvia is ranked number 2, D-man.
Putting on the Smits. Yeah. Well, we get people are going to be. I hope he pulls an Eric Lindros and refuses to go to Toronto. Lots of you saying it's fixed for sure. I'm pretty sure it's not. That's just me though. I don't think it's fixed. Before we go, I gotta do a little this day in music history. 1996. Those are good years, Coulson.
I wouldn't know.
I know. No, 1996. Rage Against the Machine went number 1 on the U.S. album chart with Evil Empire. The album's title is taken from the phrase Evil Empire, which was used by former U.S. President Ronald Reagan and many conservatives in describing the former Soviet Union. Won a 1996 Grammy for Best Metal Performance as well. So yeah, that's your On This Day in Music History. On This Day in Sports History, Pete Rose became the 14th player to get 3,000 hits. That guy was a weapon. Should have put him in the hall before he passed. So stupid. Okay, back tomorrow. Eric Francis. Let's find out how Ireland was to Eric Francis. Also, we start our training camp reports with Dave, possibly Luke, and head coach of the Flin Bombers, Mike Reagan, will be with us, and a whole lot more. Thanks for tuning in. Colson, good job. It was for Saskatchewan Lotteries. You miss any of it, go find it in podcast form. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
It was a spring that tested even the toughest prairie farmers when dust outnumbered raindrops. I'm Ryan Young, and this is 100 years of CKRM. The first 2 weeks of May 2023 brought record dry conditions to much of Saskatchewan. South Central communities like Moose Jaw, Regina, and Swift Current saw rainfall totals below 5 millimeters, the lowest in decades. Farmers reported fields so dry that seed couldn't take, and rural fire bans spread across the province. The Ministry of Agriculture urged